My wife moved in with her affair partner and still blames me for everything.
Well, it's your fault for marrying your wife.
As the betrayed spouse, I filed for divorce this past November after discovering my wife was having an emotional and physical affair. After Discovery Day, I offered to reconcile and did the pick me dance, but she was in this la la land with her affair partner. By the way, this comes from Cool Lavish 1955. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
Don't look at me.
That's Angie. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments below. As OP says, I have 3 kids and gave up after marriage counseling proved useless last October. She is now 6 months into a relationship with her affair partner and remains so angry with me. I'm not sure what is causing this. My therapist thinks it's because my soon-to-be ex believes I didn't fight hard enough for her, which is a warped view. What? Do you want, like, your husband and your affair partner to, like, duel over you? I moved out 3 weeks ago because her energy is so toxic. Need advice. Please, we have an update. Yeah, I think moving out.
The sad clown Pagliacci is in... No, wait, he's not a sad clown in that joke. I don't know, man. Do you need advice? Leave your partner.
Yeah.
Don't look back.
Yeah.
Next question.
Update. Behavior of in-laws post-discovery. I had a close relationship with my in-laws before, and after I served my cheating wife divorce papers, my entire in-law family completely cut me off. It's because she probably spread lies about you, that you were the cheating partner. Just asking if this is routine. Honestly, it stung initially, but not anymore. We have a comment. Yes, this is quite common. They are her family. They have the internal narrative. It may not be accurate to the truth, but it works for them. We have a second update. She never showed remorse, and reconciliation was an immediate failure. I am deeply distraught seeing how evil and vicious she has become during the divorce process. She is almost like an unrecognizable person. I'm seeing this really dark side that is scary, something I have never seen before. Divorce is a very emotional process, however. She's been vindictive, even making false accusations. This is something that is normal, but dissipates over time. I'm maintaining no contact and still sticking to Grey Rock, using a co-parenting app for communication only. Now I believe she has always been this person, but hid it well and was using me because I am financially successful. And we have a third update. Oh my gosh, this guy's just really going through it. Surround yourself around people that love you.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, communicating through the co-parenting. I don't understand why you're asking questions. You're like, my ex that cheated on me turned out to be a and her family are standing behind her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next life begins now.
Yes.
Moving forward. Next life. Co-parenting. Worry about your kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
For real. OP continues. The affair partner was served a subpoena 2 days ago, and my soon-to-be ex has gone off the rails, sending me mean messages and accusatory messages, which I'm completely ignoring. I'll be seeing the affair partner in a few days as my kids have soccer practice on the same field. Let's see what happens. As the title states, I see my soon-to-be ex's affair partner fairly often because he's a soccer coach. My soon-to-be ex goes out of her way to see him and is giggly around him like a high school girl. I think she's doing this intentionally. I'm keeping my cool, but I see the affair partner looking at me, almost mocking me like he won. How do you guys handle something like this? I do not want to talk to him, and I despise seeing him. It obviously makes me angry too. We have an update 4. Cheating wife trying to provoke problems. I'm currently undergoing a divorce. Mediation has been set for September. This has been a very costly process with constant issues she brings up. Now she's provoking and instigating new problems. She took one of my sports cars that had been in storage under her possession. She doesn't even know how to drive stick shift, probably had her boyfriend or father drive it. I'm going through my lawyers for this. Has anyone had similar circumstances where the cheating spouse constantly provokes or instigates problems? I'm in no contact except for kid-related issues through a co-parenting app. I haven't even brought up the car issue through the app. My thought is that she's trying to instigate a reaction from me or simply trying to get back at me for filing for divorce. We have an update 5. Wayward wife angry and very cold at me.
Do you still not know your ex-wife sucks? You're acting like this is like news. She already cheated on you. Do you think she cares?
Oh, no, dude. Heck no.
I don't really think she minds.
Tons of crazy drama throughout the divorce process, including my in-laws stealing my car from my storage unit.
That's a felony.
Along with heavy involvement from her parents throughout the case, which drove up legal costs. The expenses were absolutely staggering, but my final divorce decree was finalized on October 23rd, 2024, and I finally feel free. What I learned from this whole process is that you get to see cheaters' true personality as well as the family ethics. In my case, I saw the level of selfishness from my ex-wife that is beyond comprehension, which was even echoed by the mediator we used. I received an extremely favorable agreement even in a 50-50 state. I had to give a small payout, but I was able to keep almost double the assets in my possessions. There is no doubt my ex-wife will be cash-strapped and will never have the quality of life she had when we were married. She's even more angry and volatile now. And honestly, I'm very scared to be even remotely close to her. I've never seen her like this. I assume this is projection of guilt along with the realization that her life will never be the same. But hey, she still has her Dirk Pickle affair partner who makes literally no money. I'm in no contact with her except for kid-related matters through the co-parenting app, which still creates drama. Oh my gosh. She even tried to take my son during my parenting time without discussing it with me and made a huge scene in front of him. I spoke with my lawyer on the spot and got guidance on what to do and say. She ultimately backed off. I entered the dating scene for the first time since getting married and met a lot of great women. It's interesting that I now have so many choices and I've actually enjoyed it. Oh, single life's doing good for OP here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's I'm sure your whole married life was way worse than you even realized. Now you're gonna look back at it and be like, oh, she just sucked the whole time. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I just got used to it.
Just got used to it. Got in the rhythm. I found out a few days ago from my sister-in-law that my ex's brother have disowned her because of the cheating and never want to meet the affair partner. I was shocked, as this was my first real communication with any family member since filing for divorce. This truly gave me validation. I told my sister-in-law that I will cut off any relationship with those who support her and the affair partner. My ex-wife is already not following some of the divorce decree agreements we have. So this is going to be a very long and painful process to co-parent with her. Kids were split 60-40, with 40 for me, which works well with my job. I'll likely increase this in a few years. I'm sleeping and eating well, and I feel 10 years younger. This is truly amazing what happens when you let go of emotional baggage they put on you, and when the human trash takes itself out. Update 6, affair partner in competition with me.
In what way?
How?
In what way could he possibly compete with you?
The last thing that keeps bothering me is that the affair partner seems to be in competition with me. Mind you, this guy's beneath me in every possible category.
Then what the heck are you talking about? I guess he's not in competition with you then.
Yeah, why are we yapping about this, man? Honestly, I hate to say this, I don't really think OP has many friends. It's the only way you can really process what's happening.
I don't know. But dude, you just said it.
I'm better looking, far more financially successful, much more educated, and I have more style. Don't forget the style, guys.
Can't forget his style.
Yeah, this guy seems to want to be me and is trying to slip in.
Well, he already did that.
Almost like he's helicoptering in to fill the void. He's even trying to act like a dad to my kids. And we'll be your dad every single day of the week on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple, and we'll have more stories for you to read.
Yes,
Read to you.
we will.
How How are you feeling about OP in this situation?
Well, I think bringing in the affair partner as a father figure to your children would probably, I don't know if the courts would factor that in. I feel like they'd have to, right?
I think
That
so.
can't be healthy for the children.
No.
Bringing in the man who broke up their family, who went along with their mother, to be a part of the family unit. I don't think a court would be like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would probably end up with either reduced custody or next to no custody. I would assume. I don't know anything about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be a good dad. All you need to worry about right now are your kids.
I don't.
You need to worry about this dude. Be a good dad.
I don't think this guy wants to really be a dad. It's like, oh, it's 60-40, 40 for me. I'll probably have her, have 70-30 soon. That's what he said. Or was he going to increase his time?
I thought he was the one with more.
No, it's her. I don't really think he wants to be a dad. So OP continues, I'm in no contact with my ex-wife, and I do not even look at or talk to this guy. My ex-wife looks horrible. You can tell she's unhappy. Also, our friend circle doesn't even acknowledge the affair partner, nor do some of my in-laws. Has anyone else experienced this kind of competition with the betrayed spouse? I truly think it's messed up. I suspect the affair partner has low self-esteem and confidence and wants to make himself feel better by comparing himself to me. And I think you got to get your kids out of that because that is such a toxic place for them to live in. Comment. He's in competition with you because he is jealous of you and afraid that what your ex-wife did to you will sooner or later happen to him as well. On his mind, the most likely culprit to be her affair partner is you. The problem for him, most likely, is that during their affair, he really thought of himself as better than you, especially spicy sleep-wise. Your wife was invested and probably got off easily due to the adrenaline that comes with an affair. She risked everything only for him, and that made him feel like the king. But the affair is over now. They are now in a relationship, and she really lost a lot because of him. What felt thrilling before became a burden now. He knows that your wife is asking herself all the time if this or he was worth it, and he knows that when this thought crosses her mind, that she is thinking of you and comparing you to him. He's insecure and has no self-esteem, the opposite of what he was during the affair. Funny what a good dose of reality can do, right? When he looks at you, he sees a guy that stood up for himself, respects him, loves himself, and is successful. Everything that he is not. And then he remembers that your ex-wife sees that too. So he tries to be a bit more like you to ease the anxiety that he feels each time when your ex-wife looks at pics of the past, looks at her phone while he can't see what she's doing on her phone, or when she comes home 5 minutes late. Yeah. I mean, that guy summed it up right there. He really does want to be like you.
That was a good summary.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, because you lose him how you get him.
And OP, I would
She'll
really
probably cheat on that guy.
Yeah.
She'll probably cheat on that guy.
And if I was OP, I'd probably really want to, I don't know, take your time with it. Really, just work on yourself. And it seems like you are, but I don't know. Ignore what's happening as best as you can.
My wife built a secret second life while I was on deployment.
She had to do something while you were gone.
In 2019, when I, 34 male, came back from my deployment in Iraq to my 34 female, now ex-wife, things were really weird. People talk about losing the connection, about how hard homecomings are, but this was just different. We talked almost daily. I kept active with my kids, and there was never anything that was a red flag while I was gone. By the way, this comes from HawkPilot86, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, we did not have spicy sleep for days after I came home, and that was just the start. At the time, I had a Vault app on my phone for secret photos. I had used this app for years, as most immature young men probably did, and stored photos of unclothed women that I had connected with prior to our relationship. She found this before our wedding ceremony and still moved forward, marrying me anyway. We will come back to this.
Oh.
A few months after I came home, our wedding ceremony was planned. We had married before I left. Then, 2 weeks after the ceremony, I caught her kissing another man in our basement at a party surrounded by her friends.
What?
Dude, rookie mistake. That's crazy.
Also surrounded by the friends?
Yeah.
They
Friends
know what's up. I would be pulling one of those friends aside ASAP, being like, one, why no one stop her? Two,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah. Who's this guy?
It's the tale as old as time. Someone goes on deployment. They got to get married really quickly, and someone cheats.
Yeah.
This happened to my ex's dad.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it's like, I feel like usually the cheating would go on like while they're at deployment, but he's fully home and they're in their house. Crazy. Everyone said that I was seeing things, that it did not happen. But oh, it happened.
That's crazy. Everyone was like, "Nah, they did. They're covering for her. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's her friends." But
it was
what?
a ghost. That's what they're saying. Through this, I was able to find out through a close friend of hers who had unfriended her shortly prior due to a fight that she had been cheating on me the entire deployment. Yikes, girl.
Oh.
That's a smart person to go to. Get the ex-friend that is not going to hold back.
Exactly.
This girl dumped everything on me. The man in the basement had actually gotten her into a situation where she almost had a baby, and they decided to secretly end it before anyone could find out. I am sure this was because it would have been proof of her cheating. We are Caucasian and the other guy was African American. The secret relationship was completely undetected by anybody except for her two close friends.
Yeah, there could have been a hint there.
Not only had the cheating occurred during the deployment, but it also went back years to past bachelorette parties and vacations that she had taken with girlfriends. The news just devastated me.
Why is she with you then? Why is she just
Yeah.
not with this guy? What?
Honestly, yeah. One weekend, she went away with a friend to the ocean. When she returned, she confronted me about having a woman in the home. This was after the wedding, after I caught her kissing that guy, but before we officially separated. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Since she had found those photos on my phone, she had been acting like I was the one who was cheating on her. She was always questioning why the bed looked funny, why a window drape would be open. It drove me insane. When she came back from this weekend trip, she said that she had placed a camera in the home, that she had caught me on video with another woman. She needed something to pin me as the bad guy in all of this so she could get away with her double life and cheating. The problem was, had she actually put a camera up, she would not have seen anyone in the house because I went to a friend's to watch movies. Knowing that she was lying and trying to get me to admit to something that did not happen, I played along to see what her reaction would be and to see what her intentions were as far as divorce or taking my kid. So I lied and said that she was correct, that I did have a woman over, and she lost her mind. She talked about how faithful she had been, about how good of a mom she was, and how she took care of everything while I was gone on deployment, and how I was never going to see my son again. Once she was done, she asked me if I had anything to say, and I said, "Are you done yet?" She went quiet. I then went on to tell her that she was actually lying in all of this, and that she did not have a camera. Needless to say, she took what I, quote, admitted and ran with it. She made up an entire narrative of me being attracted to men, me sleeping with guys overseas, all sorts of things. We separated, and during that time, she placed hidden cameras in my private living space and recorded me being with other people, including a guy. She then went to all of my friends and family and told them that I had been unfaithful. She used whatever clips and audio she captured to build her story and convince people that I was a cheater.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
You know who should hire her? Magazines. She should be like a paparazzi magazine person. Get her on TMZ.
If, like, taking videos of people illegally, yeah. You can't do this.
You totally can't do it.
I'm
see what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
she's doing such a good job at like getting like pieces of footage and then putting it together to build her story.
I don't understand. It's like, I would probably find those cameras, find the whole video if I could, and then show my family the whole clip.
Yeah. And hopefully your family is like coming to you for more clarification and conversation, and they're not just like suddenly against you. What no one knew was that we were not even together at this point. She had already moved out. When we went to divorce court, the judge ruled that what she had done counted as a serious violation of my privacy. Yippee! If I wanted to take it further, I would have had to go through criminal court. But we had a 4-year-old, and I did not want my child growing up with their mom dealing with legal trouble or prison time. So I chose not to press charges. Looking at her disgusts me because I know that she lives a double life. I know the new boyfriend she has, she's doing the same thing to him. Living the single bachelorette life with a kid. And by the way, I won 50% custody, and she pays me child support, by the way.
Oh, man.
At the end of the day, I should feel good that I got out of this rather unscathed. Where it has taken a hit mostly is with my friends and family. No!
Oh, no.
A lot of people are not sure what to believe, and I have lost a lot of family friends. She is still friends with all of my old friends from high school because their wives decided to side with her. No one even turned around to ask me my side of the story. Nobody realizes that they are surrounding themselves with a fake person living a double life. I always thought that I would grow up with my childhood best friends, sharing memories of our kids playing together. I may have won in court, I may have won child support, I may have exonerated myself to the legal system and to my close family, but she has taken a huge part of my life, and it is just vile. And I know those people probably are not my real friends to begin with, if this is the true nature of them, not even giving me a minute of their time. As we grow, relationships change, and friends come and go. I just did not realize or understand or even think that this would be the reason why. And it is just hard to wrap my head around sometimes. My child always comes back from her house and is always telling me who he was with and always mentions seeing my old friends. At this point, it's almost numb. Sometimes I catch myself imagining revenge, like sending out fake wedding invites or posting something online to expose her, or crafting a message to call out friends who never asked my side. But I just can't bring myself to do any of that. I haven't even reached out to ask my old friends why they didn't give me a chance. Why did they abandon me without asking? Instead, I try to focus on protecting my child and moving forward.
Because they already had an opinion about you, and that's one they're
Yeah.
going to believe.
Exactly. They don't care to see the good in you at all. Yeah, and there is so much more to the story. It would really make a crazy Netflix series if you ask me. Sitting on this sucks, and I just want to stop thinking about it forever. But I cannot. What should I do to ease my pain on this? And first thing you should do to ease your pain is listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but what else should OP do to ease his pain?
The gym.
Yeah.
Go to the church of gym. I had
Yeah.
a lot of pain after my breakup. It wasn't this horrific. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But that helped a lot because I had a lot of, I had pent up anger, and that was a healthy release of
Yeah.
how to get that out and get that out of my system. And you get stronger while you do it, and you
Totally.
look good while you do it. So it also is a confidence booster.
Totally. There's some comments here. Comment number 1 says, honestly, all you can do is take it one day at a time. Enjoy the time that you spend with your kids, and once they're grown, maybe plan to leave that community. It really sucks that all this has happened and that you're getting punished for someone else's shortcomings. But like you said, you can live your life knowing that you did the right thing, even by not legally sending the mom to jail, even though you should have. So just move forward as best you can. She still has to pay you anyways, so she's probably bitter about that, lol. And yeah, the rest of these comments pretty much agree with us. I agree with that comment too. Like, take it one day at a time. You know what you did was right. Revenge is wrong because then you'll now be in the wrong. And eventually your friends and family are going to see this true side of her because it's going to be directed at them somehow.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll, in retrospect, understand. And you just gotta be patient and focus on yourself.
My sister discovered a video of our mother and she's going nuclear.
That's a home movie you don't want to see.
By the way, this is a secret stream, members only.
Secret streaming on the internet.
My sister, 21 female, found this video on my mom's laptop. I, 19 male, think she was using her laptop for some school stuff, and she must have gone snooping through her personal files. By the way, this comes from you. Is mom cheating? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Carly.
And we're going to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers, so we only can let you know what we do in this situation. So let us know what you do in the comments. As OP says, she found this video. It's from a few years ago. According to the date of the file, it's definitely our mom, 45 female, in the video. And it looks to be in some hotel room. There's definitely a man in the video, but he's holding the camera and we don't see his face or hear his voice. I don't want to go into any detail. It's too late. But it's basically a striptease
Oh my
slash spicy sleep tape filmed by the man. So while our mother is clearly identifiable, I can't tell exactly who the man is. I first got angry at my sister for showing it to me. I told her, this is gross. I don't want to see that. She told me she thinks it could mean our mom is cheating on our dad and we should at least present the information to our dad. I told her it's very likely it's him in the photo. You can see the man's hands in a few shots. I know my dad's hands. I think it's my dad's. She seems to think it's not him. I told her if we show it to them and it is him, not only will we be embarrassed, but they would be mad at her for snooping. She was like, why do you care? I'm the one who did the snooping, so only I'll get in trouble. I'll cover you if you try to get mad at me, or if they try to get mad at you. I told her there has to be a more sensitive way of approaching the situation, instead of just bombarding our parents with, hey, we saw your spicy sleep tape, which could either be with you or mom's secret lover. And we should consider the fallout. However, she seems pretty adamant that she just wants to show them. She thinks it's the safest option since if she was cheating, she gets exposed. But if it was just dad, then no harm done. We can't agree on what to do, and I have a feeling she might show it to them regardless of what I feel. But if I push hard enough, I might convince her of an alternative solution. Any ideas on what we should do? And we got some comments, but what are you thinking?
I kind of like the detective work option just to satisfy one's own morbid curiosity. But, like, how do you go about bringing that up with your parents? And it's like, why are you snooping in your parents' files on your computer in the first place?
If this was me, I would just act like I never saw it and move on.
Yeah.
I would not in a million years be like, hey, mom, I
Why
saw
did
what you
watch
did.
to the end?
I watched so much of it.
Yeah. And I like how they go, I'm not going to go into any detail, but like, this is exactly what happened. Okay. All right, let's get into these comments. Dude, is your sister following her intuition or does she have a history of stirring up drama? A few years ago, y'all lived with your mom and dad. Of course, they'd have to do the freak under wraps. Even if it is some other guy, your parents could be into that. How would you know? After all, your parents don't share their spicy sleep lives with you, which means when it turns out your mom didn't cheat and leaves video evidence of her infidelity on her laptop, they're going to feel an incredible invasion of privacy. I say, your sister found the tape. She deals with this mess. This isn't your problem. I agree with you that your mother did not cheat. I mean, come on. And we have another comment. So you watched your parents' whole sleepy...
That's what I'm saying! Why did you not stop it at the beginning?
You watched the entirety of the spicy sleep tape to try and identify the man in its hands?
Stayed afterwards to see if there's like an after credits scene.
Yeah, be like, starring.
Who is that under the credits? Who is man number one?
For real. Man's hands. I feel like vomit would have overcome me long before the striptease ended. It was very likely your dad. Do not make this the most awkward situation of all of your entire lives. Stay out of it. Well, we watched the whole thing and we don't know if these are dad's hands. The F?
Good God.
TLDR, please keep this to yourselves for you and your family's own good. I mean, yes. My advice to both of you is stay out of it. There are a lot of possible explanations for that video. Maybe it's your dad. Maybe your mom had an affair and already got caught and worked things out with your dad and forgot to delete that video.
Forgot.
Maybe your parents are non-monogamous or have an open relationship. If it's any of those, Nothing good will come from bringing this up with your parents. Maybe your mom is engaging in risky behavior that could result in both of your parents contracting an STI, but that seems like the least likely possibility. You really have no compelling reason to believe it's the case. I mean, I just say don't go snooping through your parents' things, because you are going to find something that you don't want to
Just
see.
like mind your own business.
And if you do come to see this revelation, run. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Mind erase. Get it out of there.
So this
And don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
OP responds, my parents are definitely not monogamous. LOL. And now for another comment. Why did your sister feel the need to investigate the video in the first place? Has there been anything fishy with your mom in the past? I mean, if you stumble upon someone's private nude video, checking for cheating is not your first natural reaction. You could try to check the date of the file. It's not always accurate. Might have been downloaded much later, but it may give you at least some clues. Maybe your parents were away on a holiday or a trip around that time. This way, there's a chance you'll have a reasonable explanation for this sister before she decides to spill it all out. OP responds, I like the idea of sending it to him anonymously, maybe through email or something. If it's him, no harm done. And if he doesn't know it was us.
That seems like the worst possible option.
Yeah, wouldn't he then
That's
start
like
freaking
a-
out? Like, how does somebody have this video?
It's like an extortion tactic or something. It's like, all right, where do I drop the money?
I'm scared of how this is going to turn out, honestly, because it just seems like there's no good that could come of this situation. And all of the things, like all of the ideas that they're coming up with, seem like they're progressively getting worse. All right, we have another comment here. But if it is him, and you send it anonymously, he'll be freaking out about who has it and how they found it. That's true. OP responds, okay, what if we go up to him and tell him there's something we need to show him on the laptop? And then, while browsing it in front of him, we pretend to stumble on the thing for the first time. We can be like, what is this?
Oh, God. Unless you're Oscar-worthy actors, it's not going to work.
If he genuinely doesn't know and says, open it to find out, it means he doesn't know about it. If he's like, no, don't click that, it means he knows. Oh, there is an update.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. 8 days later. Yeah, things didn't go so well.
Oh, my God. Why?
Yeah, things didn't go so well, unfortunately. I kept arguing with my sister. I told her if she's so certain they're cheating, the least we could do is ask Dad first if he knows about the tape, but not mention that we've seen it. She was determined that it was cheating based on the hands and the feet.
We
have the
didn't even
feet.
talk about the feet.
Whoa, feet are coming in the picture.
Were the
Uh-oh.
dogs out?
The dogs were
This is getting
out.
a lot spicier than I anticipated. Like, we were talking about spicy sleep. Now we're adding feet into that.
I can understand, hands, but now you're gonna add feet. Now, I don't know. It's getting a little too much here. Are we gonna get a torso next? I'm scared. She was like, those definitely aren't Dad's. I told her she was creepy as F if that was them in the video. And God knows how many times she's watched it. Even if it wasn't our dad, it's still effing gross. She didn't care. I told her if I couldn't stop her, she should at least leave me out of it. I want nothing to do with it. She went nuclear. She went and told them everything and embarrassed the F out of herself. Yikes. Turned out her little detective work was way off. It was Dad in the video. Our dad was angry, of course, but mostly bewildered. But he just laughed it off and got over it. By the way, you can laugh it off, but not get over us if you like these stories. Just go to find full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app, iHeartRadio, and search OK Storytime. There is a relevant update, but what are we thinking here?
This reminds me of a story of someone I know who is similar, not quite situation. They're like digging through their parents' stuff looking for something or other. They found a stash of spicy videos, not their parents, but it's just like Oh.
Oh.
And they put them back and never mentioned it. Which
What?
is what they should have done.
That seems like a normal response to me. Instead,
I mean, obviously they told us, but they didn't tell their parents.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they told me.
That's
they
a
told
story
me that.
for everyone in the friend group.
Yeah.
I would love to hear
Dude,
that story.
look you know what I found in my parents' stash? It's like, oh.
My dad's hands. I think.
Your dad
Not
has extra
sure.
hands?
My dad has 3 hands. All right, our update. Our mom, however, didn't take it so well. She had a panic attack. Aw, poor mom. She's like, no. She went nuts. She was like, what the heck is wrong with you kids? I tried to stay out of it, but my sister dragged me into it and named me as her accomplice, even though I had warned her against it. Our mom was so hurt and upset, not only that her daughter would so brazenly accuse her of cheating, but that her children had watched an explicit, spicy sleep tape of her. She was really traumatized. She couldn't take it anymore. She got up and left to her parents' house, where she's been there for a whole day to recuperate. She only called our dad to speak to. She won't speak to us. Our dad told us to just give it time until she's feeling better. And there are some comments. Well, your sister is a crappy detective. Your mom needs time to distress. On another note.
No!
Is that tape no longer in your sister's possession? She seemed to have been obsessed with it. I agree. I would remove it from her possession and give it to your father before she does something even more stupid. Have you talked to your dad and told him everything about you discouraging your sister? Make sure he knows you didn't want anything to do with your sister's shenanigans and ask him to tell your mom that. And when she's ready, you can speak to her directly and apologize on behalf of your sister. Welp, don't ever leave your sister alone with your computer or phone or mail or journal or literally anything she could wildly misinterpret. Lesson learned, I guess. Oh, there's more comments. I hope this is a lesson learned for your sister to stay the heck out of other people's business. Sorry you had to be dragged through it all. I know, I kind of feel bad for OP. Like, they really didn't want to be a part of this.
Participant. Completely unwilling.
Yeah. She was
They're
like,
stop. Don't do this.
yeah. She's like, just let it go. And her sister's like, I gotta look, I gotta know. Like, going to the library, researching, like, really, really looking at her dad's hands. Like, that's crazy. You don't need to do all that. Like, why does it matter? I don't know. But sorry to be dragged through all of it. Oh, and that's the end of that story.
My fiance cheated on me, and I regret taking her back.
Well, you can always leave her again.
It's true. My fiance, 29 female at the time, cheated on me, 30 male at the time, with her ex on my birthday.
Oh my goodness.
And were it not for the 2 amazing kids we subsequently had together, I'd question why I ever got back together with her. That hurt still lingers more than 2 decades later. By the way, this comes from Little Mint 677, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, quite a few years ago, I got engaged to a woman I was head over heels in love with. We'd been dating for 2 years, lived together, and our lives seemed to be heading in the same direction. I proposed on the 8th of August because the number 8 was my girlfriend's favorite number.
Cute.
All was seemingly good, and as far as I knew, she was as excited at the prospect of marriage as I was. We met almost 3 years earlier through a mutual friend, let's call him Bob. She was dating at the time. My band was playing with another band that Bob liked, so naturally he dragged his girlfriend along. Bob introduced me to her and said, "You two talk, I've got to go see someone." I thought she was cute, funny, and wondered why she was dating such a transparently awful guy who had a reputation for bedding as many women as possible.
Dang, dude.
Fast forward a few months later, and I was at a club with some friends. Bob came up to me and said they'd broken up, but were still friends. She'd come to the club with him and some mutual friends, and she'd love to chat with me, but was too shy to initiate. I put aside my self-doubt, walked over, and struck up a conversation. She was wasted, but still sweet, incredibly beautiful, wickedly witty, and quite flirty. We exchanged email addresses, and began talking. We shared our first kiss 6 months to the day we first met. We spent the entire weekend together and I fell head over heels in love. I wasn't to know until much later that she was confused about her feelings and slept with another former boyfriend a week after that first kiss. But that's not what this story's about.
It's not. There's more.
For the record, it still hurt when I eventually found out, but it didn't devastate me or affect our relationship. Fast forward to August 8, 2 years into our relationship. We'd talked about marriage, and I thought she was utterly in love with me. So I secretly bought the ring she had admired as we were passing a jewelry store a few weeks earlier. When I proposed, she was shocked. A conversation much later revealed she actually went into a panic and began questioning what she wanted. I was oblivious. Utterly besotted, I assumed she felt the same about me. She didn't. Just over a week later, Bob's mother passed away, and he'd just found her.
Ugh.
I drove my fiance to his mom's house and sat in the car while she and a few university friends comforted him on the street. I saw the way she hugged him, and it made me feel uneasy. There was warmth there. I dismissed it as her just expressing empathy. After about 5 minutes, she came to the car and said I should go home. She'd get a lift back with someone else. As I drove back to our house, I felt like I'd lost something. It was a strange sensation. Bob's mom's funeral was scheduled for the 22nd, my birthday. My fiance had spent vast portions of the week prior helping Bob with funeral plans, cleaning out his mom's house, and generally comforting him. She's a highly empathetic soul, and despite Bob generally being a lousy boyfriend, they still had a close friendship. So I understood. The 22nd came, and my fiance arrived home from uni early, got changed, and left for the funeral. She called afterwards and said she and her uni mates were going to Bob's place for drinks. She wouldn't be too long, and she'd come home and take me out to dinner for my birthday. So I pottered around and enjoyed having the house to myself. 6 p.m. passed. No fiance. 7 p.m. 8 p.m. At around 9 p.m., I figured dinner wasn't happening. So I made myself something to eat and watched a movie. The movie ended. Still no fiance.
Oh.
I began getting worried. Midnight passed, and I'd spent my birthday alone.
Oh.
At 3 a.m., I called her. I have no idea why I waited so long. She answered and sounded strange, like she'd been asleep or was trying not to let people around her hear her conversation. She said she'd had one too many drinks and couldn't drive home and was trying to sleep it off. I told her I could have picked her up. She said she'd be home soon. About half an hour later, she walked through the door, apologized for not doing something for my birthday, jumped in the shower, then went straight to bed. I was so incredibly sad and so incredibly hurt. Almost immediately, her behavior changed. There was a palpable distance between us and such an awkward reaction from her anytime I attempted to show affection. I distinctly recall being sad at band rehearsal a few days after the funeral and telling my bandmates something was weird between my fiance and me. Once again, I dismissed it as just me overthinking things. 6 days after my birthday, she woke me up before heading off to uni, and she was in tears. I immediately tried to comfort her and asked what was wrong. She said Bob kissed her that night, and that she had kissed him back. My heart sank. In those brief, hazy moments, I tried to rationalize it. It was messed up, but it was just a kiss. Rationalizing didn't work. I got angry and told her to get the F away from me. She left for uni still in tears. After the anger subsided, a new feeling of hurt I'd never felt before began to overwhelm me. I sobbed like I'd never sobbed before. I had my heart broken in the past, but this was so much worse. She kissed him back. We broke up. It was her decision. I wanted to work through it. It was just a kiss. Her mind was made up, though. The next month or so was awful. I moved out. She began dating Bob again because she owed it to herself to see if there was something there with Bob. There were angry, hurtful texts, nasty phone calls, and I said and did a lot of things I'm ashamed of. But I felt it was nothing compared to the devastating texts from Bob in return that gleefully targeted my insecurities, which my ex had clearly mentioned to him. But deep down, I knew Bob was a terrible guy, and he'd revert back to who he was. So I began to let go. Bob would inevitably cheat on her or mess her around. He had form. I moved in with some friends and started enjoying my life. I had some wonderful encounters with great and beautiful people, got a job I absolutely loved, and even started being somewhat of a comfort to my ex when Bob inevitably turned back into the lousy guy he'd always been.
No, this is like hard to watch.
Yeah,
In a
I'm
way.
like, no, don't comfort her for this. She left you for this man.
She has such a habit of like not closing off her past relationships,
Yeah.
and she's clearly doing that with you too.
Yeah,
So-
she thinks that you'll be there when she's done with Bob.
Yeah,
or
and
when
you
Bob's
will.
done with her.
Yeah.
My ex saw the change in me and asked if we could meet up for a chat. She said I probably wouldn't like hearing certain things she wanted to tell me. I was fine though. I was so much stronger, so much more comfortable with who I was. When we met up at a little park near the first flat we moved into together, she told me that she slept with Bob that night. I kind of expected that's what she'd tell me, so I thought I was prepared for it. I wasn't. I don't believe in souls, but at that moment, I felt whatever manifests itself as a soul physically sink. I put on a brave face and told her it's what I expected to hear. We talked a bit more, hugged, and said our goodbyes. I walked home shattered. I sank into a deep depression. I was still devastated, but I got better. I pushed the hurt aside, though never actively dealt with it, and began moving on. My ex and I began regularly communicating, and we ended up getting back together. I approached the second phase of our relationship with a lot of trepidation, and recall writing in my diary at the time that I wasn't sure it was a good idea. Knowing that she felt more obligated to see if a second shot with Bob would work rather than trying to repair the relationship with a man she was engaged to, hung heavily in my mind. I wasn't convinced she was in love with me. I felt like her second choice, the one she settled for. But we forged ahead. I quit my job, the best job I've ever had, and we moved interstate for her career.
Ugh.
We were there for 6 months. Her career wasn't panning out as well as she had hoped, so we began trying for a child.
Wait. I'm sorry. The reason you started trying for a child was because her career wasn't working out?
Yeah.
That is like so opposite of what I feel like should happen. Shouldn't you want like a stable income and a good job before you have children?
At least for one of you guys, I feel like.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Turns out we're both ridiculously fertile,
Oh my god.
so she got pregnant straight away.
Well, congrats.
We moved back to our hometown so we could be around family for our first child. A little over a year later, our son was born. 4 years later, we had a daughter. They were and still are our world.
That's also
Nothing-
really funny. We were very fertile, got pregnant immediately. A little over a year later, we had our child. Huh? That doesn't make any sense, but I feel like it's just just a
Yeah.
wrong explanation there, but that is funny.
They were and still are our world. Nothing will ever change that. A couple of years after our second child, she became Facebook and Instagram friends with Bob.
Bro.
I expressed how hurtful that was and asked her to unfriend him. She told me I was being silly. Essentially, you got the girl, so what are you worried about? Yeah. He had the girl last time and you still did it. What do you mean? What is he worried about?
Worried about you freaking cheating.
Yeah.
And losing the girl.
But she did eventually, and far more reluctantly than I would have liked. But not before sending Bob a message telling him the unfriending wasn't personal, that I was overreacting, that she still cared about him, and how he'd always have a place in her heart. Bob's response was far more respectful to my feelings than my partner's. He said he understood, and that he'd probably feel the same were the tables turned. I confronted her about it, and once again, I was made to feel like I overreacted. In hindsight, it was another nail in the coffin of our relationship. We fought on, nevertheless, trying to build our lives together as partners and parents. We had many ups and downs, separated a few times, had fleeting periods of deep adoration for each other, but ultimately it was never going to work. We began counseling last year, and at a session in February this year, I had a moment of clarity when we were asked who was more into the other person. I answered that I was definitely more into her than she was into me. She agreed without hesitation. My heart sank again, and I realized that had been the case for the majority of our relationship. A few weeks after that session, my partner told me that she didn't see a future with me. I'm grateful she did because I'm far too gutless. I didn't fight it at all. It's been 2 months and it's all still a bit raw. I've moved out and it's given me the time to reflect on our nearly quarter of a century relationship. I'm still deeply hurt by being cheated on over 20 years ago. To this day, my birthday is the saddest day of the year because it reminds me of the day of Bob's mom's funeral and how lonely I felt. Knowing that my fiance was in bed with another man that night only exacerbates that loneliness and feeling of worthlessness. And there were so few birthdays after that where she made an effort to make it a special day for me. I should have walked away back then, 20 odd years ago, when I was in a better place and not convinced of her love for me. I should never have tried to rekindle what we once had. But I look at our 2 children and hate myself for thinking those thoughts. Because she is an amazing mother, and those 2 kids are our world. I couldn't imagine my life without them in it, and I really am grateful I didn't walk away back then. For them and only them. But given my time again, not knowing the 2 utterly adored kids I share with her would exist, I would walk away. By now, I'd have found love with another. With someone as into me as I am into them. And we probably would have had kids just as adored and amazing as the ones I have now. And I probably wouldn't be regularly reminded of the betrayal that's hung like a cumulonimbus above me for 2 decades.
Oh, wow.
I just want to say that despite appearances, I am not blameless in the demise of our relationship. And despite the overarching negativity in describing my ex, she is genuinely a good person. I'm sure she'd have things to say about things I did or didn't do that drove a wedge between us. But it's me that's been more hurt by her than she's been by me. Nevertheless, I hope she finds happiness with a new love. I just pray it's not Bob or a Bob clone. And that I find happiness in a new love long before she does. Because it would break me again if she gets there first. And we have an update
Oh my
with a
gosh.
sad title.
Oh no.
But how are you feeling?
I feel, first of all, I didn't realize that their relationship was 25 years long. I don't know why I didn't catch that before, but
We time jumped really quickly without any warning.
yeah. That time jump is crazy. That is so long to be with this person. And yeah. I just feel so hurt for OP.
I feel so bad for OP.
Yeah. You're on the right track, you're fixing it because, you have the regrets and you're taking action now,
Yeah,
but
and
it still sucks.
Like you said, though, you'll find love somewhere else. And
Yeah.
your amazing kids that you love will obviously still get to be a part of your life.
Of course.
So it's almost like now you get that wonderful, hopeful new love
Right.
that where you're loved back just as much as you love them.
Yeah.
And you get these wonderful, amazing kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It could end up really feeling great for you.
Right. It sucks now, but there's still hope for that future that you want.
Yeah. Update. Just when I was starting to feel a bit better, she destroys me again.
No.
I just got back onto Instagram and was trying to find some old friends to follow. My ex and I have some mutual friends, was only looking for friends from my circle, would never follow her friend. So I went to her followers and I noticed Bob was following her. Naturally, I checked if she was following him back, and yep, she was. My heart sank. It's been 2 months since we separated. I will say, I fully expected this though. I think we all knew she was going to follow Bob.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised.
Now that you guys are separated, it's I feel like, not that it's the nice thing to do, but she doesn't really have that boundary of not following Bob for your sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you guys aren't together.
So she's just gonna be well,
I guess I can do that now.
yeah, I'm free.
Yeah.
Probably
I
not.
obviously have no idea when she reconnected him, but either way, it breaks my heart. It's like she couldn't wait to end things with me so she could get back in touch with the one guy she knew I had a problem with. Or worse, reconnected with him while we were still together. By the way, you can always come together with us to watch full episodes of the stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, search up OK Storytime. Got a little bit left.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Distance yourself as much as you can. I know that obviously you guys have kids together.
Right.
So it's going to be really hard to just be like, I'm not going to talk to you
Yes,
anymore.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, you guys are not together anymore. So I
Mhm.
feel like it's time to not really concern yourself with Bob or her.
yeah, Yeah, I agree.
The guy she slept with on my birthday back in 2003. The guy who was responsible for the darkest hours of my life. The guy she chose over her fiance because she owed it to herself to see if it could work with Bob. The guy who perpetually made me feel like her second choice. Made me feel like the one she settled for when Bob turned into the same crap bloke he always was. The amount of disrespect and insensitivity she's showing is mind-blowing. The fact she absolutely knows how much this would hurt me indicates she honestly doesn't give a crap about anyone but herself. In my previous post, several people mentioned she wasn't a good person. To you people, you were right. And that's the end of that.
Affair from beyond. I discovered my late husband's affair. Now I'm conflicted.
Yeah, that's pretty spooky.
Yeah. I, 30 female, lost my husband, 33 male, and my sister-in-law about 2 months ago. We had been together for 8 years, married for 6. He was the light of my life and someone I was extremely excited to spend the rest of my life with. We were compatible in so many ways. The spicy sleep life was amazing, even after 8 years, and I still got all giggly just thinking about him. By the way, this comes from Shooksigan, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments down below. So OP says, I think I've coped with this passing quite well. The first month was just a big shutdown. I didn't leave the house. I hardly ate. And all my time was just spent looking at our wedding video over and over. Oh, that's so sad. He just fought ghosts. He's fighting ghosts. Luckily, I have a great boss who understands and without hesitation gave me a 4-month leave. In November, I pushed myself to get out of my bubble. I've tried to keep busy to get back to my everyday life. I've cleaned the house, had people over for dinners, gone out for lunches, and tried to be a good support for my husband's family who lost 2 precious family members in one day. We're all devastated, but we cry it out together, and I feel we've become even closer by being there for each other.
Well, that's good that you have a support system.
Yeah.
You support and lean on each other. That's good.
Exactly. As I've been feeling better, I decided to slowly look over my husband's stuff to see if there's anything to throw out and put everything in boxes until I can manage to go through it all without crying. That's when I decided to access his computer to look for any important emails or such. I checked his mail and also logged onto his Facebook account, and except for over 100 goodbye messages on his wall, there were 3 private messages.
Did they have private parts?
Uh-oh, private messages with private parts and peepees out and...
Dead husband peepees out.
Oh! So, 3 messages. One was from this woman whose name I had heard him mention a long time ago as a childhood friend. I was so disgusted by their conversation, filled with clear evidence that he had been cheating on me. It had places they agreed to meet, trips they'd made when I thought he was on a business trip or with his friends. There was spicy related flirts, hugs, kisses, and even declarations of love.
That's the worst.
No!
That's the worst.
It wasn't just boinking, it was emotions. That's terrible. It's terrible.
Come on, man.
When checking his phone, there were no messages, but the last phone call was from her. Oh, that hurts me. That actually hurts me. The last phone call that my late husband got was from his freaking mistress. That's crazy.
Who's like a childhood friend who's known forever. Why don't you
Yeah.
just marry her, stupid?
Dude, for real. My goodness. To confirm, I called his closest friend and asked about the trips. He just paused and then apologized before telling me everything. Apparently, he had a crush on her in middle school, and it awoke old feelings when she flirted with him at a reunion 2 years ago. It seems a lot of our friends, even his secretary, knew about it and tried to convince him to stop. I don't even know how to function anymore. One part of me wants to mourn for my husband. I miss him so much. I want him next to me when I go to bed. I want back our fun drives to work in the morning, and I miss his warm smile. But the other part of me feels so deceived, and I want nothing else but to go punt and spit on his grave until I'm satisfied.
Yeah, and then the groundskeepers show up and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Nah, this is my dead husband."
Yo.
Nah, this was my husband. He cheated on me. I found out after he shuffled off his mortal coil. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. A few days have passed. I haven't been able to answer any phone calls or messages from his family. I know they probably don't know, and they sincerely worry for me, but I just can't face them with the hate that I have in me right now. I am so frustrated and confused. I want him here to explain everything to me. So I created a Reddit account to get this out of my system. Welcome. This is the best place to do it. I have no idea who to talk to about this since most of our friends knew about it for some time, but never told me anything. I've never felt this alone and betrayed.
I would suggest a licensed therapist who specializes in grief counseling.
Yeah, dude.
That's who I would suggest you talk to.
Yeah. Please give me some wise words to handle this. I feel strange and confused for mourning and missing him when I, at the same time, hate his guts. How do I face his family? Should I tell them? We just had a private funeral, and in 1 month, we're having an open reception for everyone to come and pay their respects. Now, I'm worried that she might come. I know it's open for public, but I really don't want to meet her. Should I try and prevent it, or just skip the reception myself? There's an edit. Oh gosh. Thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to give me some advice in a difficult situation. I'm actually going to wait to read the rest of that because I want to hear your guys' ideas.
Yup.
What advice do we have for OP?
Well, my 10 minutes worth of context and 30 seconds of thought probably aren't going to be the best things. I don't know if you should tell the family. I don't know if I would want the thought of like, am I going to affect the way that they see their son? Is that worth it? Do I need the sense of justice and righteousness? Or do I just evaporate into the wind and move on and start a brand new life? I think you could probably reach out to the family and about her, and if they know anything about when she's coming, or if you could just know when, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's really hard to navigate without being like, yeah, I don't want her there because he cheated on me with her.
Right. And he sucks. I'm freaking pissed at him.
So I don't want to see her.
Right.
But I want to see him. I want to be there for the funeral.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that would require the family knowing. I would be letting all of the people who knew about this and said absolutely nothing to me about it for years,
Yeah.
that they can go kick rocks and lose my number.
So this is the edit. Thank you very much. It helps me so much just to know that all of you spent some time of your life comforting me and giving me advice. I will spend my afternoon reading through everything, and maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, I'll post an update if I've decided what to do with the situation. A lot of people pointed out that I need counseling, and I've already booked 2 appointments this coming week. Great.
Smart.
So I'm on it, and I feel very positive about it. Once again, thank you. Edit number 2, someone worried about children in the picture. He and I didn't want children, so no, gladly there are no children in this situation. And we do have an update.
Well, at least there's no kids.
I know, I was
That
thinking about that
is
too.
a silver lining, I suppose.
Right? At least it's not worse.
I wouldn't want the weight of like, have I negatively impacted the way his family thinks? It's like, because then it's like not,
Well-
at that point it's like, what does it matter? He's gone. So like making
Right.
his mom and dad be like, oh, our son was a cheater and like whatever. Like
Right.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
just I don't care.
But
for that.
honestly, like, I'm thinking of, like, if she goes to the funeral and she's, like, so mad at him because she thought he was a good person, and maybe, maybe he mostly is, and this is just, like, the one flaw of his, maybe, But, like, I feel like if I was so mad about that and I was listening to everyone else talk about him, like he was such a good person that did no wrong, absolutely not, when
Yeah.
I'm, like, actively so mad at him for cheating on me,
Yeah.
I would not be able to listen to that at all.
Yeah, that'd be really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the family will probably find out anyway.
Yeah. But we got an update. So I still have very confused feelings regarding my husband. And right now I feel like there is no way to forgive him. I try to think of the great times we had together, but I always find myself caught in the he knew what he was doing, yet he smiled at me like that thinking. I'm working on it though. I've already been to 3 counseling sessions and I get along great with my counselor. She's helped me a lot already, and I'm so glad I took your advice to get professional help. After speaking with my counselor, we both agreed that to ease the burden I had about not being able to face his family, I should get away from them for a few days. I sent my in-laws a mail apologizing for not answering them in the past few days and said that everything has been too much for me, so I need to get away. Using that as an excuse, I went on a spontaneous trip to Madeira, which is a destination I've dreamt about for a long time. It was amazing. And after coming home, I realized it was something I needed very much. I was ready to face my problems at once. After a lot of consideration, I decided to tell my brother-in-law and his wife just so someone in his family knew of my situation. Something I didn't mention in the original post is that my husband's family is very important to me. I only have my big brother after dropping contact with our parents, so his family has always been more like a real family to me than an in-laws family. That makes me even more worried to tell them because I'm afraid it would put some distance between us. But at the same time, I don't have the energy to fake myself through the funeral reception for my husband as if I have the same feelings of love for him as I've always had, because I don't. That way, my brother-in-law can take me away or at least have some explanation if I were to lose it at future meetings with the family. Which also, yeah, really quick, she would probably be expected to speak at the funeral too as his wife.
I don't know.
That sounds so
It's
tough,
so
dude.
hard, especially like wanting to maintain that connection.
Yeah.
Suffering alone sucks. But like if you tell the family and then they suffer, like do you just suffer twice? Because now they're suffering because of the revelation you delivered to them. Not that that's wrong, or that it's just a wholly unfair, impossible to navigate spider web of a situation.
So I told these 2 people. They both took it quite well and were immediately on my side without me having to ask for it. I apologize to them both for having revealed this about such a close family member, saying it was not my intention to badmouth him, but just the fact that I needed the support I could get. He said there's nothing to apologize for. The blame is on his brother, and it's nothing that I should apologize for. My brother-in-law is like a big bear and probably the nicest person I know, but I was still nervous telling him, so I'm glad he reacted the way he did. We both agreed on waiting to tell his parents and little sister until the time is right. I get along really well with his wife. The couple lived abroad until 6 months ago, so I never had a good chance to meet and talk to her, but I really enjoyed her company. Yesterday, we went for a shopping trip and dinner, and it's been a long time since I forgot about time and just enjoyed myself. So, about the other woman. I don't have the strength to face or even talk to her, so I decided to entrust her to his closest friend, the one who told me about her. Let's call him Alex. I thought it was a little awkward, but I told him he owed me this for having kept quiet about it for so long, even though I had considered him a friend. He agreed and apologized sincerely. I know he's always been a good guy, and he told me he made a big mistake, but didn't tell me because he always held on to the trust that my husband would end it with her, as he said he would when Alex asked him to stop it. I'm still very angry, but he's the only one I can trust to make sure she's not there. And my worries were right, because she didn't take the phone call from Alex well. I sat along with him for the phone call, and we had her on speaker. During the whole time, I was furious. He didn't tell her that I knew at first, and she seriously had planned to be there at the reception right in front of me. When she wouldn't budge, even though he asked nicely that she could go to his grave, but she wouldn't be welcomed at the reception, he told her that I knew everything, and she went quiet.
Little mouse.
Yep. Alex told her that she's hurt me and that she should understand it's not acceptable for her to be in my presence during the reception. What she said next was a mix of sorry, that she loved him, the rest was incoherent, and then she hung up. Alex has been trying to reach her twice since, but no answer. I think she got it that she's not welcome, but I have already arranged for Alex and 2 other friends to be at the entrance to welcome people and stop her if she were to come. And apparently she has a boyfriend since about 9 months back. Okay, cool. Great. Dude. I'm not sure what to do about that yet. I'll deal with my own problems first. And you know what you should deal with. You should deal with listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite freaking podcast app is. All right? Just search OK Storytime. We'll be there. We'll be there. So, that was my update. I have dinner with my in-laws tonight, which I'm looking forward to. Overall, I'm okay. As I mentioned above, I'm still confused about my husband, but I guess time will show how I will deal with the situation. It feels good that some people around me know about my situation now, so they can be there to support me and understand if I behave strangely. Thank you, everyone who posted on my original post. I think I maybe read through all of your advice over 4 times. It was a great help in making my decision and helping me through my sadness. As many of you see, I used your advice. So thank you once again. And that's the end of that story, people. Good job, OP. Get that help that you need. It's going to take a long time to figure this one out, girl. You're probably going to go a lot of back and forth.
Therapy.
And eventually,
therapy.
it's going to even out.
My wife sent lingerie pics to a random Reddit guy, but swears it wasn't cheating.
She was like, no, it was just a photo shoot for him. It was purely professional.
My wife, 35 female, and I, 36 male, have had a fantastic relationship since we were in our early 20s. We've opened a few businesses together and have a few restaurants in our community. The year started off better than normal. We both had a great mindset going into it, and she was all about new year, new me mentality. She bought a new wardrobe and started buying and wearing lingerie, which was new for us. New jewelry, the works. We work in front of a lot of people, and she wanted to make sure she was confident. I was all for it. By the way, this comes from Past Witness 2379, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, a few weeks after probably our best 2 months of our relationship, we had an issue that just effed everything up.
Dang it.
One morning, she told me she was going to get a drink with a friend randomly as we were walking out the door. This caught me off guard because we always give a few days' notice if we have dates with friends. We are both extremely busy, and it's just a courtesy we've done for years. I shrugged it off and didn't think anything about it. Later that day, I wanted to surprise her for lunch. She had a meeting at one of our restaurants, and I was going to head that way. I asked what she was up to, and she said she was going to have her meeting at a different restaurant, still ours, and it was now virtual. Okay, cool. That one is closer anyways. I headed that way, and she wasn't there.
Where are you?
I asked the staff if she'd been there yet, and they said no. That's weird. So I called her. She got defensive on the phone, like she was annoyed that I was trying to see where she was. I told her I just wanted to surprise her for lunch. She said she ended up going back to the original place and was going to do the meeting there. It was too late to meet for lunch at this point. I let an hour or so go by, and as confused as I was, I hopped on the cameras to see if she was there because my radar was going off big time. Surprise, she wasn't.
Where is she?
I called the manager and asked if she was there at all today. He said no. Now I was PO'd. I didn't say anything to her, but now I was curious about this drink date with her friend. About 5:30, I showed up to the restaurant, not ours.
Why do you keep saying not ours?
I think
What does
they
that
own
mean?
restaurants in town.
Huh?
That they were supposed to meet at. Neither of their vehicles were there. I then went to the other locations that were ours. Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna do
I need a
two
map.
guesses right now. One,
Okay.
she's cheating with this dude.
Yeah.
Two, he's a boudoir photographer who is making a surprise thing for the husband and has sent her the pictures through LinkedIn, and he's freaking out, and it's supposed to be a surprise that he's not supposed to know about.
Ooh, that's smart. I like it. I like your thinking, man.
Stopped by the office and then the house. Again, nothing. I waited until about 7:30 and texted, "Are you guys having dinner too? Or are we having dinner before I make something just for myself?" She responded with a confusing text as if she had no idea what I was talking about. She said she was having dinner with her friend and that she was waiting for her to get done with work and they were going to meet at 9. I instantly called her and berated her with questions. Where were you all day? What happened with drinks? Why are you lying to me? My mind was racing. She paused and didn't tell me. and I could tell she was wasted as heck. She said she went shopping in the afternoon and had her virtual meeting in the car in the parking lot. I wasn't buying it because I could care less if she went shopping. No need to lie about it. After a couple hours, she finally got home after multiple phone calls and begging her to tell me the truth. I didn't let up. I knew when she lied. When she had to pause to tell me the story, like she was plotting the best excuse. She told me she never went shopping, but instead she went to the bars, supposedly by herself. Again, I didn't buy it. I was shaking, knowing that this was so not normal behavior. She lied about even meeting with her friend. It was a ploy to free up her whole afternoon so she could bar hop. We are almost 40.
You're
We
never
don't-
too old to bar hop.
Yeah.
And you're never too young to not want to go bar hopping.
We don't bar hop in the afternoon on a weekday. The next few weeks were rough. I had lost a lot of respect, and during those first few months of the new year, we had met a friend who was also in the business. Single guy. My wife and I don't have kids, so we always would have drinks after work and hang out at the house. He was around quite a bit, and I noticed him and my wife had a connection that seemed to be business oriented.
Yeah, maybe he's taking professional photographs.
Of your wife. Scandally clad.
Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo.
After this bar hopping incident, I couldn't help but think that my wife might be cheating on me with this guy. So I asked her, and she clearly denied it and kind of laughed at it. I pushed it under the rug. Weeks went by, and our relationship was tense and cold, but we were still intimate. Spicy sleep didn't dry up. Neither did their relationship. She worked at one location, and I typically worked at another. When we were done, it was usually 9:30 or so. She would grab a drink with our friend, typically at her spot, and then they would get one at the next bar down the street. I was invited, but said no most times because I just wanted to go home and hang out with my wife. She constantly wanted to hang out with this guy, and it was very clear they had more of a connection than I first thought.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that.
I don't like this one bit, mister.
I finally worked up the courage and confronted her and him both about it on the same night. It seemed like we squashed it and we all tried to move on. After the bar incident, I told my wife she needed to see a therapist. She'd had her fair share of trauma. I was the rock she always needed, but she clearly needed help that I couldn't give her. After I confronted my wife about her relationship with our friend, I told her that emotional cheating is a thing and it's not good.
That's so funny. To be like, hey,
This isn't good.
I gotta sit you down. Have you ever heard of a little thing called emotional cheating? And his wife's like, no. And he's like,
Well,
It's not good.
Not good. I was uncomfortable and not thrilled about this relationship she'd built with him. She agreed, and we decided to take a vacation to clear our minds and reconnect. She had a therapy session, virtual, while on vacation. I found out later that she told her therapist about our friend and that I had told her that her relationship with him had to stop. Her therapist recommended that we see a couples therapist. The funny part is, my wife didn't tell me that. She just said that we should see a couples therapist to help our relationship. I told her no, since I believed I hadn't done anything wrong.
that's okay. Okay, OP. So I'm noticing a little theme here, like especially just in the beginning of literally wandering around that whole night trying to find his wife.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Not to say that you're wrong, because it does seem like she's emotionally cheating at the very least. But now we have, she comes to you. You said that you want to work on the relationship. She says, okay, let's go to a couples therapist. Sure, maybe it was her therapist's idea, but she
Yeah.
comes to you, says, let's go to a couples therapist. And you say no because you haven't done anything wrong. That's not what couples therapy is for.
Yeah, I feel like we could still go, and that'll
Yeah.
still benefit the relationship.
Couples therapy is not because you're in the wrong or both of you are in the wrong.
It's to help you work on your relationship as
Yeah.
a couple.
Yeah, it's not to be like, you made a mistake.
Right. It can fully be to work through a mistake that was
Yeah.
made on her.
If
It
you
might not be
want-
like,
If you want to fix the relationship. If you don't want to fix the relationship, then power to ya. Let's end it here. Call it quits.
yeah.
No dice.
A couple weeks later, I thought things were going great, and I apologized to her about even thinking she would cheat on me. I told her that I would work on my insecurities.
Let's go to couples therapy for those.
We were both drinking, and she got hammered and went to bed. She left her phone on the table, and I was finishing my drink.
No.
10 minutes later, she was passed out.
Oh no.
I couldn't help myself.
Stop.
I needed closure so I could move on from this. I wanted to know that they were done with their BS relationship. I'd only gone through her phone once in our 15-year relationship. This was the second. What was the first?
Why did you do that? OP. You know I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know.
We
I
don't
don't
like
like
that here.
It's just like if you're gonna do it, your relationship's already on the rocks. And it's just like if you're wrong, then you've lost trust.
Yeah.
And couples therapy could help you regain that trust, but you don't even want to try it.
Yeah. Katie Call says, couples therapy is not punishment.
Exactly.
It's not. What I found broke me. I went through her messages and found a conversation with said friend with 35 deleted texts. And the conversation was completely wiped after our conversation with her and him that night weeks prior. There were only about a month's worth of messages and a bunch were deleted. It was clear there were things in that chat that she didn't want me to see. This didn't include the months of snaps back and forth that I would never see. The conversation was a lot of, I'm bored from my wife. Come grab dinner. Come get a drink. All while I was asking her to come home early and hang out with me. Now I saw why she didn't.
Yeah, emotional cheating.
Yeah. I also found in a hidden picture folder lingerie selfies, some topless and some with Snapchat filters.
I'm just thinking of like a lingerie photo, but she's got like the dog. She's
I was
got the
gonna say
dog
that,
tuck.
the dog.
It's like the forehead's like really huge.
Yeah, she's got like
It's
two
the
large
wide
eyes,
one with the
no
big
nose,
smile.
giant mouth.
The
In
minion.
lingerie. That's hilarious.
I like it.
My heart sunk because I'd never seen these photos in my life. Next to the dozen or so photos were pictures of our friend.
Ooh, toughie.
Selfies of him, with one saying, if only I wasn't in traffic, and another of him in the sauna.
The sauna.
Yeah.
You know it's getting hot and steamy in there.
That man's bringing his phone in the sauna.
Yeah, you can't even bring electronics in there, I
At
think.
the one he's going to, you can.
I guess so.
This was at 3 a.m. when I found these photos, and I just completely lost it. I went to my friend's for a few hours, didn't sleep, came back, and she woke up and came down to have coffee. She was clearly hungover, and I laid into her. She got quiet and didn't say anything. I told her how dumb I was for believing her, and that I needed to hear the truth. I had left and got breakfast at my friend's and told him everything. Get a lawyer, leave. After I was done, I went back home to pack a bag. She was there. No remorse, no crying, nothing. I was a mess, but I kept it together. She assured me that the selfies were not sent to our mutual friend and that she didn't see him in that capacity at all. Liar.
I don't believe you. What were all those photos for?
Where are they going then? Who
Where
saw
are they
them?
go- Yeah, what's he doing in the sauna?
She then proceeded to tell me that all of those photos were meant for me, but I never received any of them.
She's like, all of those were for you. And he was
Maybe I
like,
was getting
crazy.
there.
she was like, I schedule sent them.
Yeah, but I never received any of them, and that she was self-conscious to send them and afraid of where they would end up. She said that only one picture, a see-through mesh bra with her whole body but no face, was sent to a random guy on Reddit.
A random guy on Reddit?
It was a subreddit where guys ask women to take pictures of themselves doing something.
You could have done anything.
The guy asked her to do something, and she did, and sent it to him via Snapchat.
Why?
She said it was a high, and that the moment she did it, she freaked out and deleted everything because the guy asked for her Venmo and wanted to pay for more pictures. She swore that it was one photo. She swore that nothing had happened with our friend. She said the only reason the two selfies were in her phone and hidden was she wanted to show her friend who he was and that she had some form of connection emotionally that needed to stop. I still believe the snaps and the selfies were sent to our friend. I don't buy the Reddit BS. Any advice? We have an update. Go ahead.
Well, couples therapy. And if you don't want to do that, then I don't know if this can work.
She's already cheated on you by sending that picture and
Denied
emotionally
it.
cheated on you
She won't
by
even
with this
admit
other
it.
dude.
She won't even admit it. So I don't think this relationship is gonna last.
I think the trust is gone. You've also
Yeah.
gone through her phone twice.
I
Like,
don't.
clearly
And also,
there's no
yeah, on
trust.
your end, again, for good reason in that you were right,
Yeah.
but it still breaks trust.
Right. Well, unfortunately, most of you were right. Pretty much how you said it was exactly how it went down. That first night, she wasn't at the bar. She was at his house. No meeting, all made up BS. No pics on Reddit, no random Snapchat pics. She woke up and had an agenda that morning, and it wasn't me. I almost drove by his house that day. I wish I would have. Probably wouldn't have stopped her. I might have done something I seriously regretted, so maybe someone was looking out for me. I was gaslighted for almost 2 months. I knew something was wrong with my marriage, and I desperately wanted to fix it. I had no idea of the extent of it at the time, but I didn't react fast enough on my gut. Another Redditor gave me some tips, and I followed them. I told her that I wanted to request her Snap data. She said okay without hesitation. Then a couple hours later, after figuring out how to look at the locations on an iPhone, I found out how to look back and see the exact location on the exact day.
Ooh.
What I found broke me.
Ooh, tough.
I can never describe that feeling when those emotions just rush over you in that moment. In all my life, I have never had anything like it. It was the opposite of the highest high. I never want to feel that again. The lowest low. That would be the opposite, yes. I confronted her immediately, and she doubled down that she wasn't there. I showed her the phone, and she tried to deny it. Then it turned into, I was there. Then it was, I just kissed him. Then it was, I just had spicy sleep with him.
I didn't think I was good. I just had to practice.
I did this for you, babe.
I did
I
this
made
for
this
you.
for you. I went to a dark place during those 7 weeks. I felt helpless and didn't understand why my wife was constantly pushing me away. She'd give me some random affection, but it was cold. After talking to some friends that know her well, they said, dude, she has changed. She hasn't been the same person for a while. I thought it was me. People noticed the change. She constantly told me I was the insecure one, that she couldn't handle my outbursts when I confronted her about why she went to the bar that night. She blamed me for everything. One night, I broke down, wasted, and just hid in a closet for a while and sobbed. When she did find me, I asked why she doesn't love me anymore. What did I do? She said nothing. I still love you, and comforted me. The next day, she explained that the things I said hurt her and devastated her. Yeah, well, you know, the things you did hurt me and devastated me.
Yeah, she's like, when you found my location
And
and
said that I
proof
was
cheated
cheating
on you, I was
really hurt.
devastated. When you found those messages of when I cheated
Yeah.
on you, I was heartbroken.
It's crazy.
And he's like, I don't know how to respond to this.
Meanwhile, little to my knowledge, she already effed him, probably a few times by now. How can a person watch someone suffer like that and keep doing it for another 5 to 6 weeks? I will never know nor understand. At the end of the day, we are working through what the next steps are. I don't know what my future holds, but in our state, it's 50-50. If we can't split amicably, the courts will do it for us. I have been looking at support groups if I decide to stay. The ball is in her court. If she wants to get couples therapy, I'll entertain it. If she chooses to get better, I'll see it through. But the one thing I won't do is be lied to anymore. If I go down this path, the hard one, it's on my terms. The honest truth, though, he broke it off with her. She still wanted to F him weeks after he realized what he did. Up until last week, she wanted to F him. There is no way those feelings are gone. And by the way, there's no way that you should be gone when there's full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Got a little bit more. Any other thoughts?
This relationship's over.
Yes, I do
It's over.
think so too.
It's done. It's more done than the Jets' career.
I know what you're trying to do there. You're getting, you know.
Was it close?
Let's say you got a foul ball there.
All right.
You tipped it.
It's okay.
Good job.
I'll get it
I
next
appreciate you trying and throwing a little 1-2 to the Jets. That's really funny.
Look
Look
I
at
don't know
you.
anything about the Jets, folks.
Look at you,
Anyone
know
who likes
you're-
the Jets, I don't know anything
Just-
about them.
Just say you're sorry.
I'm sorry, Jets fans.
Reasonable. Good for you. Look at you doing sports stuff.
Sports. I know everything about the sports.
Yep.
Now she is scared to lose me, lose her businesses and her house. Everything is coming to an end. Everything we built for 16 years is over. All because of a 7-week relationship. If it was just 7 weeks, the truth keeps trickling in. I asked what triggered that night, and she said Valentine's Day. I despise Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Hey. We had a good one last year.
We had an hour last year
I
before you
know.
had to go away for a trip.
That's true. We did.
After
in
I
Colombia.
spent the whole time being like, I'm going to give Valentine's another chance. I'm so excited to have a Valentine's with you. And he was like, that's great. We leave Saturday. We'll have all of Friday night. Don't even worry about it. And then he said, so actually the flight's at midnight, so I might have to leave at like 10. And then he was like, so actually they're already calling me. I might have to leave at 9. So actually I think I have to leave now.
Well, you know what? We'll get him this year, folks.
Cool
We'll get him
cat.
this year.
Yes, Mike, Guy, and Brunette are dating. Yes. He bought her chocolate-covered strawberries, and I worked the restaurant that night. I didn't realize strawberries would make her drop her panties for someone in 2 weeks, but it did.
Never underestimate a strawberry.
Just chocolate-covered one to boot.
Aphrodisiac.
I am hurt. I am devastated. My life has completely done a 180. I can't sleep. I find myself waking up from terrors and drenched in sweat when I do catch some sleep. I never thought someone that loved me could ever willingly know that while she was riding his wiener like a pogo stick,
Oh, you didn't have to put that, OP.
this was going to completely shatter my very existence. I haven't eaten a full day's meal in 5 days. I am a battered mess. I will figure this out. I will become a stronger person because of it. That's the end of that story. My boyfriend cheated with our roommate. Now he can't afford rent.
Too bad, so sad.
I, 42 female, have been with my boyfriend, 33 male, for 4 years. And we've lived together for 2 years. Our lease is up in a week and a half, and I've made the decision to move out after I found out that he cheated on me with his best friend. By the way, this comes from Shonda82, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for context, his best friend, Tina, 34 female, and he were roommates before he and I got together, and before we all decided to move in together. He and I were just friends for 8 years prior to committing. During our friendship, anytime she would call and need him, he would drop whatever he was doing to make sure she was all right. I'll admit, Tina's not the brightest, and at 34 doesn't really know how to be an adult. She fixes everything with 2 or 3 different guys a week, which is made easy because of her profession. I'm not shaming her, just stating facts. Over the years, I had some doubts about their relationship, but he always reassured me that they were just friends and I trusted him. 2 months ago, I found out the truth. His behavior has been changing. He was distant, secretive, and I could just feel something was off. Yes, I went through his phone at around 3 a.m. and saw the exchanges. I confronted him, and after some hesitation, he admitted he slept with Tina.
Boo!
Stinky. He said it was a one-time mistake that he regretted and begging for my forgiveness, claiming it didn't mean anything. The text said otherwise, especially since they were messages from the previous day. He really wanted me to stay and work things out, but I can't. I feel betrayed, stupid, and humiliated. I'm also angry because he didn't just cheat. He cheated with someone who lived in our home, shared meals with me, had heart-to-hearts with me, and acted like a friend. They would reassure me about my insecurities regarding their closeness. It's always the ones they tell you not to worry about. I've already decided I'm done. I've signed a lease for a new apartment, arranged movers, and plan to leave next week. I haven't told him yet, and I don't plan to until I'm gone. Since he goes to work before me, my plan is to pack and move all my things while he's at work. I'll leave a letter explaining my decision. This is where I may be the a-hole. I know he can't afford this place or a new one without me. He's financially struggling, and without me, he's going to have a hard time finding somewhere else to live. But I'm not responsible for fixing his situation, especially after the betrayal. Some friends think I'm justified in not telling him, saying that he made his choices, and now he has to face the consequences. My sister, however, thinks I'm being cruel by not at least giving him a heads up so he can make arrangements. I don't feel like he deserves my sympathy. He can have my middle finger, though. Oh yeah, Tina doesn't live here anymore either. So am I the a-hole for moving out without telling my cheating boyfriend, knowing he can't afford this place or a new one on his own? And we have an update, but what do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't don't think so.
I don't think so.
I could maybe get behind, like, sure, you could give him a heads up, but, like,
Sure.
ultimately that wasn't going to change the fact that he can't afford it or a different place.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, I could understand their perspective of just being just like considerate or whatever, and just
But, like, did he really consider you?
yeah, it's like I don't think it's a too much of an a-hole move to like stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I usually don't go for the petty things, usually don't go for like revenge or whatever, but like, yeah, it's just kind of, you know, you don't a heads up is a considerate thing to do, and you don't deserve that from me at all.
Right.
You don't deserve my consideration.
Yeah, I would agree. But we have an update. As planned, I moved out. It was incredibly hard, but I knew it was the right decision for me because jail is not something I want to do again. Okay. The leasing office contacted him, so he found out that I was moving. He then decided that he wanted to talk. I did sit down and talk to him because I wanted to see his reaction, specifically his shocked expression. I needed to see that he understood the gravity of what he had done. I said, "You want to talk now? Where was this when you were deep in that witch? When you guys were smiling in my face like nothing happened? When I voiced my concern and you both reassured me there was nothing? When you would talk crap about all the different dudes she would bring home? When you would text her late at night in the living room trying to get some more?" I continued, "Don't act like you're sorry and don't try any guilt tripping because this is all on you." I also told him he was a piece of crap for undermining me and our relationship by telling her that he didn't mind things she did that made me uncomfortable, like wearing only a t-shirt and panties, coming out to talk in just a towel, or having him critique the nudes she would sell to men. Then I hit him with a couple things he didn't know I knew. I said, "Why the F would you lie and say it's cool that we had an agreement where we just had to let the other person know and that you were going to tell me? Also, you said you guys just did some spicy acts. We both know that's a lie." I continued, "Not only did you F her, but you continued to pursue her. And now I know sometimes you would do it while I was in the room."
Ew, that's disgusting. Ew.
Yeah, this man did not deserve notice.
No, he deserves way worse. Oh no, what is it?
Now I know why you'd always comment on men not being able to make her finish after she made that statement. It was because that night she told you that you were the only man and the best man. And to think you kissed me the next day and told me you loved me. What a lying a-hole. Tell me why and make it good, because no matter what you say, I'm done. And shocked he was. He was quiet, almost stunned. And he finally said, "I don't know what to say. I messed up big time." He said he took full responsibility for what he did and that there was no excuse. He said we weren't really talking and that he was searching for something to ease his mind, and she provided that something. I said, "So you're telling me that instead of being the grown man you pretend to be and telling me how you feel, you decided to let your wiener do the talking?" The look on his face was priceless and confirmed that he finally understood the consequences of his actions. I was honest about my feelings of betrayal, disgust, and anger. I made it clear that I wouldn't be contacting him and that he needed to figure out his living situation on his own. I said, "Tina might have a room for you. You should call her."
Boom, there you go.
He said, "I cut her off after she moved out because I thought we could work things out."
This man is so dumb.
I
This man is
laughed and
stupid.
said, "Well, you thought wrong, buddy," and got up to finish packing my things.
Jeez, dude. This man is so stupid.
Stupid man.
So stupid.
One crucial detail I forgot to mention in my original post was that I spoke with my landlord before moving. I explained the situation, including the cheating and the reason for my sudden departure. Because we were so close to the end of the lease and she understood the circumstances, she agreed to release me from further obligations. This was a huge relief and allowed me to leave without the added stress of financial repercussions from the apartment. I did leave a copy of the new agreement with the ex. Now I'm in my new place. I was out walking my dog when the universe decided to throw me a curveball. Shockingly, I ran into Tina at my new apartment building.
Stop it. Is Tina living there now? There's no way.
Turns out she lives there as well.
No!
I guess karma has a twisted sense of humor. I just smiled and started to walk away, but curiosity got the best of me, and I turned around and asked her to talk. Boy, did she talk.
Whew.
I started with, now that the situation is over, tell me what really happened. She said she was crying on the couch and that he started to rub her leg and slowly seemed... Okay, she said she was crying on the couch. He started to rub her leg. He tried to maybe initiate some other things. She said she told him he shouldn't because of me. And that's when he told her the lie about us just having to tell each other. She said it happened so fast, but she knows that it was a full spicy sleep act, not just some other things.
Yikes.
She threw me for a loop and pissed me off by saying, and I quote, I used to purposely walk around half-clothed to get his attention and entice him.
Bro, I mean, I guess thanks for being honest, but like, why are you admitting to all of this right now?
She said, especially after you stated that you didn't like when I walked around like that. And then he came to me and said he doesn't mind and that he likes it. I figured if he didn't care, why should I? She said he would set up movie nights for them to cuddle on the couch while I was at work. I saw red, and it took everything in me not to one-two her in the face for the blatant disregard and disrespect.
Yeah.
I gathered my composure and said, if you wanted his wiener so bad, why didn't you do all this before I was in the picture? She said she didn't see him like that until she started to see me changing him.
Oh my God.
By that, she meant I stopped him from dropping everything and running to her aid. I mean, she has so many men to choose from, and I didn't think that he needed to be the one to be running to her side. I said, it wasn't enough for you to have a community to run to. You had to run to what I now know was an already passing away relationship. I asked her when was the last time they spoke, and she said, we talk every day, and he's been over here a few times. She said nothing spicy related happens, and he talks about how he messed up, and how he wishes he could have been different. Sounds like BS to me. I said I didn't care, and that I was done talking, and to act like she didn't know me if she saw me. He tried calling and texting incessantly, because Tina told him that I lived in the same complex, but I blocked his number and muted all his notifications, and I haven't looked back. But by the way, you guys can always look back at full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We have just a little bit left of this story. He also tried to contact my friend, who told him in no uncertain terms to leave me the F alone. Tina has also been trying to reach out through mutual friends. I have told them all that I want nothing to do with either of them. I'm done with the drama and the lies. Apparently, he's scrambling to find a new place and is very stressed for his predicament. Honestly, I don't care. He made his choices, and now he has to deal with the consequences. I've been going to therapy, and it's been incredibly helpful in processing my emotions and building my self-esteem. I'm focusing on myself now, and I'm determined to move forward and create a happy, fulfilling life. And that is the end of that story.
Yay for therapy.
Yay.
Yay.
Good job, OP.
Yeah.
You knew you didn't deserve that, and you got the heck out of there.
You sure did.
That's great.
Yeah, that is so insane to like, because okay, I understand wanting to ask like the affair partner pretty much like
Yeah.
what happened, but it's crazy that she went into that much detail and about what she did wrong too.
Right.
It's like, okay, I was kind of wanting just to know, like, just to make sure I didn't get the wrong idea or anything like that. But you
Right.
just made it so much worse. Like, I don't know, that's just so insane to me. Like, I feel like she would at least try to save herself a little bit instead of being like, yeah, I actually did this because
like, yeah,
I
actually-
hated it.
Right.
It's like,
Like,
what, are
Okay,
you,
so you're just a terrible person.
yeah, you're like literally asking to be like yelled at right now. Like, is that what you
Insane.
want? That's
Insane.
crazy. It's crazy.
My ex-fiance called me crazy for suspecting her. Turns out I was right all along.
She's a gaslighter.
I'm 35 male. My ex-fiance is 27 female. I used to work third shift where I met my ex-fiance, who was a waitress. About 7 months after I initially met her, I asked her out and we hit it off. By the way, this comes from Seriously82, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly,
I'm Sophia.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, About 8 months go by, and we're walking around the local mall when she sees a jewelry store going out of business. We go in, and she finds a bridal set she likes, so I buy it. I don't give it to her until I propose about 4 or 5 months later. Our wedding is supposed to be in June of this year. When the vid starts, she gets furloughed. I continue working. I make enough to cover both of our expenses, so I'm not too worried. I have $2,000 every month direct deposited into her account and just let her take care of managing the joint bills as well as her own bills. After she gets furloughed, she makes zero attempt to find any kind of employment, even temporarily. I don't push her very hard, to be fair, but I do ask her a couple times about it. She refuses to consider it, stating that nobody's hiring. Although I know for a fact a place right down the street is. A month and a half goes by, and she does nothing other than sit at home and play video games. She never leaves the house to do anything, doesn't want to go with me to do anything, nothing. Out of the blue, she starts wearing makeup at home, which I think is odd, considering she never leaves the house.
Little suspicious. Who's she wearing that makeup for?
Her hours change from roughly being aligned with mine to being awake all night and asleep when I'm home. One day, she decides she wants to go to Tennessee to comfort a friend who's going through a divorce.
Yeah, I'm sure she's comforting a friend.
Again, I think this is odd, considering she never wanted to leave the house, let alone go do anything. I don't say anything because at this point, I just think it's odd, and I don't really suspect much. Throughout the trip, she sends me random pictures of her and her female friend. This is also odd because she's never really in the habit of sending me pictures of herself, nor does she like taking them. After seeing all of these changes in behavior, I ask her about it. She responds that there's nothing to worry about. I'm being paranoid. I point out that I've seen she's added a couple of random dudes, I don't know, to her Facebook account. And I ask if she's talking to any of them on Facebook or texting or whatever. She says she isn't. I tell her that's okay, and I'm sorry I brought it up. The next day, she tells me she wants to postpone the wedding a year because it's unhealthy to start a marriage under suspicion. I'm not happy because it sure doesn't make me suspect her any less.
She's
but
like, we should just not get married yet because you think you're suspicious of me. And while you take time to work on that suspicions, I'm going to be in
yeah.
Tennessee comforting a friend.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's what I told you before, right?
Yeah, right?
But I relent. I think this is maybe back in late March or April. A month goes by, and I literally don't say a word about the conversation. Her behavior has sort of gotten worse, but I don't make it obvious that I'm not pleased with it. I just kind of let it go as much as I can. So I go to my sister's house out of state for a weekend, and the night before I'm supposed to come back, I ask her if everything's okay. I ask her if she wants to back out of the engagement so we can kind of learn who we are and just enjoy each other's company. She states we'll talk about it the next day. This is where the weird part starts. I get home. She isn't wearing her engagement ring.
That's weird.
I ask her about it, and she tells me that we're breaking up and that it was my decision to do so.
Oh, okay. I don't think
great
OP was
news to
involved in
me.
that. Yeah.
I'm laying on the couch, kind of shocked and really confused by what's occurred. She immediately gets out wine and starts drinking it, puts on some music, and wants to dance with me.
I would be like so bamboozled.
I'd be like, are you okay?
Are you
Is this
having
like a
an
psychotic
episode?
break?
What's going on?
She tells me she plans on not moving out of the apartment that we both signed the lease on unless things get weird. She then makes comments about setting up a Tinder profile for me.
She's already a freak. She's already a freak.
I tell her I really can't do any of that and go back into the back room to play my own video games. I play games for about an hour before I realize I can't be in the house with her because I can hear her music going while she's dancing. So I pack my overnight bag and I head to my mom's house. There's a driveway camera on the inside of my house that watches outside, but it has a microphone in it. I activate it and hear her talking to some dude on the internet about the breakup, telling him she's moving home that coming weekend. I send her a couple of text messages and hear her talk about them to this dude. I can't really make out what he's saying because the camera microphone isn't that good. I return to the house, remove anything of mine that's valuable, and tell her I heard part of the conversation. I bring up the fact that we'd previously had a conversation about whether or not she was talking to any other dudes, and I point out that she denied it. Her response, I didn't ask if she was Snapchatting somebody else. I only asked if she was texting or Facebook messaging.
Sorry, did she just pull that? Well, you didn't specifically ask me about that.
You didn't name that platform
Yeah.
by name.
You said, "Are you going out with Jerry?" But I was going out with Ted, so I didn't lie.
Oh my God. I'm honestly shocked, and when that sentence leaves her mouth, I immediately second guess anything she's ever told me. This is really the last time I have a conversation with her that I ever believe anything she says. From this point on, it's been utter nonsense. Polite utter nonsense, but nonsense. The last part of this happens back in early May, I believe. I unfortunately have to see my ex once a month to get her half of the rent money. I strongly suspect she was cheating on me, or at the very least, planning to do so. I also kind of get the impression that she was trying to gaslight me about the whole thing on top of it. I guess at this point it doesn't really matter. But I wanted to have somebody else's opinion on the matter, so maybe I can get some closure. What say you? Was she cheating on me? And we have an update.
Yes.
She was.
Yeah.
She was. She admitted it.
Yeah, she said she was.
I will say, OP, I know she was like, well, you didn't specify. She spelled it out for you still.
She still
You don't
spelled
need
it
that
out.
specification. She
No,
spelled it out for you.
She's cheating.
We have an update. A year ago, right after my now ex-fiance dumped me,
Nice.
I haven't heard much from her until about a week ago when she texted me asking questions about something I'm interested in. I answer them, the conversation concludes, and I think that'll be that. I block her on my texting app, thinking
Nice.
it'll block her on everything, but it turns out it only blocks the text.
Not nice.
She calls me the next day.
That
What
shouldn't
texting
be
app
right.
are you using?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, based on the conversation and the tone of voice she uses, that anything was wrong. I'm curious as to why she's suddenly starting to have conversations with me a year after we broke up. I'm open to thoughts and advice. Well, I definitely will not be sleeping with her, that's for sure. My choice.
Please don't.
I message her and we have discussion where she alternates between trying to make me feel like a tyrant. She mentioned something about crying the night we broke up, and I distinctly remember her wanting to drink, dance, and party. Don't remember tears being shed. I do, however, feel like 1,000 tons have been lifted off my shoulders. Because after having time to look back on what happened, I now see who she really is. No contact as of the last 2 days. I don't anticipate any from her, and I certainly am not going to contact her myself. And we have another update.
Oh boy. Oh man. Well, OP, stick to your. Don't get back to with her because you've been doing so well. You haven't been with her for a year.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, OP, I think that we can end things with a lot less information.
Yeah.
We don't need all that information to
No.
just stop.
We can just stop talking to her. We can just say, "Oh, that's so weird."
That's actually crazy. Bye.
Hang up.
Update 2. I finally found out formally that the dude I thought my ex-fiance was seeing while I was engaged is in a relationship with her, which sort
Shocking.
of confirms my theory. That was still a theory?
Yeah, that was kind of fact.
I'm not really sure how to feel, to be honest. I was furious for about 2 seconds. Then I realized she just sort of proved me right. I'm sort of calm, but really annoyed at the same time. We have a third update.
Oh my goodness. OP, let's get her out of your life. Block her. Block everyone.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about her.
I can understand that it still comes as a shock because it was something
Sure,
that was
yeah.
unconfirmed, and you're going to have that moment of like, wow.
She
But
actually
also-
did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
It's been a
course.
year, and I think that now is the time to heal to the point that anything that she does doesn't affect us.
Yeah, and it's like that. I don't want to say that it comes easily because you are gonna still think about it. You were about to marry
Yeah.
her,
1000%.
so it's not like you have to just kind of up and forget about her immediately. That's not gonna happen. But it is just kind of taking the steps to get there. So like not responding when she calls, blocking her number. There is a way to block the phone number.
fully.
From
We're
calling.
blocking all socials,
Yeah.
including Snapchat.
Yeah, so that we don't see any of that information about, oh, she's dating this new guy. We don't want to see any of it.
None of it. Around 4 years ago, so we've time jumped again, I posted a thread about a fiance I thought was cheating on me and figured I'd post an update. I hadn't heard hide nor hair of my ex in these past 4 years until I ran into a coworker who was the sister of a friend of the ex. The ex was cheating on me with the guy I and everyone here thought she was. She moved to Chicago, where this guy professed on the internet to be somehow involved with the mob, and right into his arms. The relationship ended for whatever reason, and she moved on. By the way, you can never move on from listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search up OK Storytime. And we've got a little bit left.
OP, I'm begging you. Just take her advice.
Yeah, I feel like
Please.
I do appreciate this, though. I like a little full closure moment.
I do too.
But-
and I hope the full closure comes with I never talked to her again.
Right. She then married guy number 2 and had a
Oy.
kid with him. Turns out he's emotionally harmful and lazy, doesn't help her with the kid, etc. I don't wish this type of thing on my worst enemy, even my ex. As for me, I got married this past May.
Yay!
Beautiful, kind-hearted woman who loves me for me, so I'm doing fine.
Yay!
If you're reading this, I've been where you are. Don't give up and keep moving forward. See y'all on the flip side.
Heck yeah, brother.
That's
you
the
did
end of that
it.
story. Good for you,
Good
OP.
for you.
Heck yeah.
We love to see it.
Love to see it.
I exposed my dad's affairs to protect my mom, but she turned on me instead.
How dare you tell me about the affairs?
I am 18, female, living with my parents and my 3 siblings, 16 female, 14 male, and 9 male, and my dad's mother. My parents have always been strict, and I always felt they were too harsh. They never understood me or respected my privacy. I can't move out even after turning 18 because it isn't normal in our family, and I'm not capable of doing so anyway. Well, if that's the case, then honestly, it doesn't really matter if you're allowed to or not because you can't. But if you want to, you should work to get to the point where you can. By the way, this comes from user MaryDark22, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, my dad is the head of our family. I am the legs. My mother is the arms. And my siblings are the internal organs. Everyone respects my dad and fears him because he's always been strict and stubborn in his decisions.
Respect and fear. Great combination.
A great way to rule. We couldn't say no to him. My mother is the kind of woman with the mindset that her husband is everything for her. Even though she is soft sometimes, she obeys whatever my dad tells her. It's clear that she loves him, or she wouldn't be working so hard every day to raise 4 kids and take care of her annoying mother-in-law who has dementia and a crappy personality. Oh, it's just really sad. I just want to make it clear that even though my parents are strict, controlling, and overprotective, they love all of us very much and deeply care for us, even if they're not the ones to say it themselves. Now that you know the family dynamic, here's what happened. In 2023, I was going through my dad's phone. He had 2 WhatsApps, the normal one and the business one, which he uses because he's a businessman and owns a company. I opened the business WhatsApp and it was password protected. I got more curious, and since most of his passwords were the same, I tried it and unlocked it. Just to be clear, I was on his phone because in our house, we were never allowed phones. I got my first and current phone at 18, so I was using my dad's at the time. In the WhatsApp, there were some normal texts regarding work, but the one on top had a Malaysian girl's picture, and the name was saved with a heart. I opened the chat and read it back in horror, holding back gags. The girl had sent my dad spicy photos and videos. There were flirting texts, a lot of them, and it had been going on for months. That's pretty rough to find as a teen. I think I would maybe just take my dad's phone and slam it into the ground and be like, Dad, I dropped your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on it. I dropped it. I don't want to deal with that. I had a rush of anxiety. I put his phone back, ran to my room, and cried for hours.
I didn't know what to do, so I decided to tell my mother. I got her alone, sat her down, and nervously said I wanted to tell her something. She looked me right in the eye and said, if it's about a guy, I swear to God. I said, it's not. I mean, well, it is about her guy. It's about her husband. Why would your mom say if it's about a guy, I swear to God?
Yeah, you're 18. Can
Well,
you not?
I think in this, they're younger than 18. This is before.
You got weird rules in your family. I'm slightly judging.
So here
but
we-
That's not on you.
I said it's not, parentheses, I've never dated because my parents are very highly against it. Then I hesitantly told her everything. She was shocked and asked me to show her the texts and pictures. I did, and she kind of lashed out at me. Why'd you go through his phone? This is why I tell you to study hard so you don't end up like this. You don't study. Never touch his phone again. I'll handle it. Never speak of this to anyone again. I said, okay. I felt relieved that the burden was off me. A few days later, my mom told me that it was none of my concern and it was work-related. Foreign people are just like that, she said.
Girl, what? What crazy thing has he been telling her that your mom is so like, no, that's like totally normal.
Dude, Pop's got your mom brainwashed right now. Get the hell out of here, OP. Try to tell your siblings this is not normal as well. And I don't know. You've got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders right now for yourself and for your siblings. But I'm going to break this to you right now based on everything I'm reading. Your parents are not treating you very well.
Not at all. Or each other very well.
Yeah. Oof. My mother isn't illiterate, but she isn't much interested in technology. I knew my dad had told her lies, and I wanted to tell her, but I chose not to. I checked his phone again, and nothing was there. I thought that was it. But then a year later, I went through his phone again, and it was a different girl from the USA. He called her Kat and had flirted with her. From the texts, he went to the USA a few months later and met up with her. She even came to our country and he met up with her. But this time, the girl was really uninterested and didn't want anything to do with him. I could tell from the dry texts.
Wow. Your dad doesn't even have game.
Dad can't even riz them up, dude. How embarrassing. He had even asked her if he could stay at her house, to which she denied and said she only has a room. My father shamelessly said he would sleep on the couch with a suggestive emoji. I was disgusted. I once again didn't know what to do, so I just deleted the chat permanently from his phone along with the number. I thought maybe he would get the hint and stop. The guilt ate me inside as I never told anyone about this. I thought that was the end, and I started to forget it and began being normal with my father until he decided to prove what a shameless jerk he is.
I don't like your dad, and I think he's the worst. Woo!
Yeah. 2 days ago, I was going through his phone again. I do have my phone. I just don't trust him. To my shock, he had a dating app. It was similar to Tinder, quite common in my country. I just want to pause here and say, OP, this is none of your responsibility. You don't have to continually check your father. You can already just say, my dad's kind of a scumbag. My dad's been cheating on my mom. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I tried to tell my mom about it, and she said, oh, that's just how Malaysians are.
I feel like OP is trying to just look out for their mom a bunch. It is not your responsibility, but at the same time, I think I'd be kind of like, how did you not believe him the first time? Like, I'm gonna get you proof that this isn't like just a Malaysian thing. Tough.
Again, we're removed from the situation, so it's way easier for us to be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what you should do, but
We don't
you
have
really-
the emotions in it.
you need to completely only worry about yourself. Worry about building yourself up, because I guarantee you if your parents are this controlling, they are probably going to be controlling in that they don't want you to leave, because then you can be useful to them when you're at the house. You can do things. You can probably get money. You're probably giving money from whatever job you have is probably going back to them in some degree. So save up, make a financial plan. There's plenty of resources out there to learn about how to do that, and maybe find, a friend, a roommate, something, make a plan together. Get out of your house.
Get out.
I just wanted to give my dad the benefit of the doubt and think maybe he doesn't have a profile, but he did. Maybe he didn't text anyone. He did. He had texted 5 different women. It's a different thing that he was rejected by all of them. Good job, women. I am absolutely devastated now. I have no idea what to do. I deleted the app and his profile, but I can't just let it be anymore. It hurts me so much to see how he doesn't respect my mother or our family. My mother works so hard for him. It would break her and take away her reason to get up and do anything. So I don't want to tell her anything. This time, I want to talk directly about this to my father. I want to tell him that I know everything and I am effing disappointed in him. He always says to me that I'm so immature and that I need to grow up, and I can't effing wait to throw his words back at him. I've had enough. I have to take a stand for my mother, my siblings, and myself. And there's an update. I don't know if it's gonna go well.
I'm worried about you doing that. I don't think it's the wrong thing to do if you really want to do it, but I don't like how you've described your father as handling things, so this does worry me.
Yeah. Update. Well, I talked to my dad about it, and I can't effing believe this pathetic excuse of a man. 1, I'm just letting it be. I'm never going to touch his phone again. 2, he gave me the same BS he gave my mom a few years ago. That's a USA app. I need it for my business. If it was that kind of app, I wouldn't have it. He thinks I'm freaking dumb. He was mad at me for going through his phone, but I just threw in, you go through mine all the time. And by the way, you can listen all the time to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime. We have a little bit more story left. Let's continue to get into it. I'm devastated right now. Honestly, I did see this as a possibility. I kind of expected it, but it still hurts. I don't think I can ever trust my father like before or be close to him anymore. But at least now he knows that I know, so maybe he can stop doing what he's doing. I just give up.
He's not going to stop.
He's not going to stop, and that's okay. It's not your fault, nor is it your responsibility. Again, it's time to focus on ourselves. I'm just going to let it be. I did what I could, and we have some comments here. Comment number 1, your mother is a lost cause. You just got to leave that alone. Just take her example and do not follow her way. Do the complete opposite of your mother. Be resolute in your boundaries. OP replies, fair enough. But to be clear, I do love both my parents, no matter how their personalities are. And I guess I sympathize with my mother as a woman. I'd never forgive if someone cheated on me. And yeah, you can still love your parents, but don't be around for all this. You can love them wherever
it's
you
time
are.
to remove yourself from at least this specific situation.
Comment 2 says, you can love people and not like them or like what they do. But there's also a measure of respect. Respect for themselves and respect for the people around them. Your dad especially doesn't respect his family at all. A third comment says, ouch. Yeah, this sucks. You're caught right in the middle of everything as you are the oldest sibling and female. I know that you feel like you need to be the one who has to take a stand for everyone. I get it because I was there too, but you really don't. This is your parents' mess, and as such, you probably won't be able to change much of anything. My best advice is to sit down with both parents at the same time and tell them both how you feel. It will be terribly awkward, but it will get you out of the middle and get how you feel off your chest. It will also show your dad that you are decidedly not immature, and that is the end of that story.
My wife told her affair partner she loved him, and I still took her back. Come on. Married male, cheated on by SO, and now in the process of reconciliation. It occurred to me that I have turned into someone who alternates between wallowing in self-pity and indulging in self-righteousness indignation. That's not who I want to be. All it does is make me miserable. By the way, this comes from Maker Scream, and if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my life experience has taught me that you can't dictate someone else's actions or feelings. You can merely act on your own in a way that does minimal harm. If that sounds like an impossible goal, it actually isn't. I used to get tremendously affected by bad drivers earlier. Then I realized all that raging only puts myself in danger and my health at risk. So now I focus on driving safely, defensively, and minimizing the chance of confrontation or incident. I bring a lot of expectations to my relationship, both from myself and my SO. I realize now the burden of those expectations can cause issues. If anything, the affair taught me to look inwards at myself. I always pride myself on being a loyal husband, a good father, a provider for the family. People have dreams, aspirations, hidden desires. They need to be validated by those they love. They need to feel not judged. Looking at it from my SO's point of view, her husband made some life choices that took him away, albeit temporarily, from her. He left her to mind the household and manage the growing kids while he was away on work for extended periods. Perhaps if he'd asked her, she'd have told him that what they had was enough. There was no need for a bigger house, and she would manage fine with her trusty beat-up car a little longer. After all, he did insist on sending it for proper servicing once a year. Perhaps she was happier with him close to her, sharing in the household duties, being a proper dad instead of her having to double up as both parents. Perhaps she thought I had my share of fun on the road, or that the distance was making us emotionally distant as well. Or it could be that she had some plans for herself. Turning 40 isn't easy, and it often brings a renewed focus on career as you start to worry whether what you are doing is merely a means of making money or something deeper and more meaningful. It's happened with me as well. She stood by me resolutely while I worked out my own career-related stuff a few years ago. Perhaps she expected the same from me and felt my attitude to her work was dismissive. Maybe we didn't share the same ideas of what constituted loyalty. Maybe she thought it was okay in my eyes for her to seek emotional support while I was not available. It seemed to come as a shock to her when I told her after finding out that the fact that she slept with the affair partner didn't hurt as much as the fact that she told him and others that she loved him. A lot of her friends probably have work spouses and their husbands are probably aware of it. Maybe I'm the exception here. Why did the emotional part of the affair hurt so much, though? Was it because I felt insecure that we no longer had what we once shared? Was it an assumption I made that having survived and thrived through a decade and a half of marriage, with all its ups and downs, a temporary physical separation would not matter, that our emotional bonding would tide us through? I haven't confided in too many people about the affair, but those I did talk to were unequivocal that this was her fault. This includes my SO as well, who blames herself squarely for the affair and its aftermath. We are reconciling solely because it was my choice to do so after she confessed unreservedly after being caught out and begged me to take her back. So there is really no reason to turn the spotlight on myself, to ask these soul-searching questions on whether I was, in fact, as good a husband as I imagined myself to be. But it's really also the only way to move on. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I was responsible for the affair. That burden is hers and she knows it. But things don't happen for one reason alone. And if I can come out of this a better human being, it might be just the thing that prevents this sort of stuff from happening again. Because, believe me, it changes everything in a way that can never be fully remedied. And I don't want to go through that ever again. Has anyone gone through something similar? And there are some comments, but ooh-wee.
Oh boy.
What a way to ring in the new year.
Yeah.
A little affair story where the guy's like, I guess I'm going back.
Yeah. Well, I have not been in that exact situation.
Nor have I.
But, I mean, from what it looks like, I think if I were in that situation, I would definitely be offended by the emotional part of the
Absolutely.
affair. Like, he was...
It's not surprising to me.
Yeah, he seems like maybe he was asking why am I so affected by this, because he just seems pretty like self-observant, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
like
he seems-
introspective.
yeah, he wants to get behind the
wheels.
yeah. And but I mean, I think you know why. That is a hurtful thing.
I mean, yeah, I think what he's specifically asking is why does it hurt more than the physical aspect?
Mm-hmm.
Because you love her.
Yeah.
And to find out that not only has she physically cheated with someone, but she loves them, so not like
Right.
going into the romantic, going to the attachment.
Yeah.
And has given that part of herself, which she has promised to you, to someone else.
Right.
Yeah, that's devastating.
Yeah, because I mean, you didn't get married so you can just like, get at it all the time. You got
Yeah.
married because you love each other and you have that emotional bond. So
Yeah.
it holds more weight in your relationship in general. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But that just sucks, dude.
Sure does, man. But there are some comments. Comment 1 says she has a voice. If she was unhappy, she could have used it like a mature adult. Comment 2 says, love how you're just trying to grasp at logic and convince yourself you can stay with someone who betrays you when they don't feel satisfied. And there is an update. I read every reply on that thread, and it really helped me relieve myself of the burden of feeling I had somehow precipitated the affair by my own actions, be it by being away on work for long periods or not paying enough attention to her needs. 5 years down, we are still together. That might be perplexing to some, but let me answer some questions you may have. Did I forgive her? Yes. It took a while and several long, difficult conversations for her to realize that I desperately needed to know why it happened. She took full responsibility for the affair and said that hurting me the way she did was the worst mistake she has ever made in her life and something that would haunt her forever. Did she stray again? There were several Redditors who reminded me of the old adage, once a cheater, always a cheater. But she did all the right things, quit that job, broke off all ties with the affair partner, and apologized repeatedly for what she did to me and the family. Do I trust her? Well, yes and no. I go through her texts and have her location tracked mutually, but as time passed, I found myself doing so less and less. There haven't been any red flags. How did we repair the relationship? I had mentioned in the old post that we were good at doing projects together. Managing the vid was a big one. Our kids lost 2 grandparents in 2 years and almost a third. We moved into a bigger place, our dream home, and that took up a lot of energy and attention. Got a dog, which has just been an amazing and unique parenting experience. Kids are older now, one has started college. We continue to travel for pleasure occasionally, a shared passion. Another thing I've realized was the need to have a life outside of us. So I put together a band and we perform a few gigs a year. This is
Fun.
great.
That's
A band?
That's such a fun little side gig.
What do you play in the band?
Yeah.
I took control of my career and landed a better and less stressful job. Encouraged her to pursue her home-based business and eventually to land a job with a startup in a different field from where she was earlier. We spend time together and talk about stuff that's bothering us. We do fight on occasion, but focus on resolving things rather than letting them simmer. What about the enablers? I had mentioned she has a few friends who were aware of and even actively encouraged her to pursue the affair, despite being close to me as well. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
What terrible people.
Yeah.
Being close to you as well and being like, yeah, girl, go get that man.
Yeah, and I mean, he mentioned earlier too that like she had other friends that were
Yeah.
also cheating, right? Is that right? Did I hear that
I
right?
think he just kind of assumed.
Oh,
I think he's
okay,
making
okay.
assumptions that they probably were like her too, which is fair.
Yeah.
If they're telling her to, pursue an affair.
Yeah, I mean that's like, I mean if any of my friends just decided to cheat on their ex, I'd be or on their partner, I'd be so mad at
Yeah,
them.
I'd be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And I would definitely not encourage that. Oh my god.
No. I'm like, why are you with this person?
Yeah.
For a while after moving on, I voiced my discontent that these people were still in my life, but her stand was that she alone was responsible for the affair and not them. I finally realized that all I needed to do was to cut them out of my own life and not bother about anything else. I systematically went about it and am now low contact or no contact with that bunch. Nothing dramatic, just quietly cut the cord. She's still friends with them, but she knows how I feel, so meets them only on occasion and is much more transactional with them. How am I now? I have to say that despite having some of the emotions come up every now and then, by and large, I am happy. By the way, you can be happy if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I mean, if he's happy, some people do work through things like that. I think majority of people don't, but it does happen, People can work through that, see that it's just a mistake and still be able to actually build that trust again.
As long as both sides are willing to put in the work.
For sure.
And that's on it's got to be for the part on the part of the person who made the mistake, did that,
Yeah.
or did the affair, but it also has to come from the person who has had their trust, broken.
Right. I would just encourage you to not trust blindly.
Yeah, no.
Just keep
no,
an
no,
eye
no.
out.
That's why, I mean, and there's no it's never expected that person who had their trust broken should, forgive.
Yeah.
But in this case, it seems like you had kids and you wanted to, and it seems to be working. I'm a little bit hesitant about her staying friends with those people.
Yeah.
Again, seems like morally not the best people.
Yeah.
But, whatever works for y'all.
Right. We don't know them.
But there's a little bit left. My family and career keep me busy and fulfilled. My music keeps me sane. I have actively dialed down the drama in my life, a big contributor being no longer close to the enabler friends. I've consciously pursued my own interests and am a bit more assertive about my own needs. I am attentive to hers and try not to argue or nitpick, which have been integral to my nature for a long time. So things go on, and I guess 5 years is good enough to call myself an affair survivor. We celebrated our 20th anniversary, and it was wonderful. And that's the end
Okay.
of that story.
Okay.
My girlfriend let me sleep with her friend who was already taken?
I think you mastered the art of the deal.
I, 34 male, have been with my girlfriend, 39 female, for almost 6 years. We were friends for years before that. We have a non-monogamous relationship. I don't say poly because we don't have multiple relationships, and the term open often gives the wrong connotation. So non-mon fits the bill. Either way, we are committed to each other, but sometimes have spicy sleep with other people. By the way, this comes from throwaway 181856, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I should note that I am naturally non-monogamous. I knew from my teen years that I did not enjoy the jealousies and spicy related prison feelings of monogamous relationships. Since then, I've been very honest about my feelings towards anyone who may be a potential partner. Current girlfriend, who we'll call Laura, was hesitant at first. This was her first foray into anything open. I would never coerce or browbeat anyone to be in something they don't want to be in. But she eagerly decided to give it a try. We eased in gently. We set up specific rules and boundaries, as many non-mon couples do. Some of the basics: protection, protection, protection! Always be honest with each other. No friends, family, coworkers on either side. No helping others to cheat, i.e. no sleeping with married, partnered peeps unless they have a similar arrangement. There are others, but those are pertinent. We had no issues until fairly recently. A couple years ago, Laura got a new coworker we'll call Jill. Jill quickly became a good friend to both of us and hung out with the friend group. When Jill learned that we are non-mon, she approached me one day after a few drinks to test the waters. I shut her down quickly but respectfully, as both friend and coworker rules would be broken. She took it well and didn't bring it up again. I also told Laura, who let me know Jill said something to her too. At least a year went by and it doesn't become a deal. Last year, Laura had a work function in another state. Right before she left, Jill lost her job. The both of us consoled her for days before Laura had to go. Once she landed and got to her hotel, she called. I told her that I was hanging out with her friends that night. Jill's name came up. Before long, Laura said I should help her. Have a nice weekend. Soon, she got much more explicit about what she meant. I tried to explain what a bad idea that would be, especially with her vulnerable. Laura was insisting I at least consider it. After a long conversation, I told her I would. I really don't like that your partner is telling you who you should be hooking up with.
Yeah, what are you, contractually obligated?
I really hate that.
What are you, on a team?
Yeah,
Like, we're tapping you in.
You should make her feel better. No.
Especially being like, I feel like this wouldn't make her feel better at all.
At
And then
all.
she's still like, yeah, but
That's so
think about it.
weird. I knew that the smartest thing to do at this point would be just agree with Laura, but actually do nothing. Later in the day, I see friends along with Jill, and after a bit, we end up alone. Yeah, I know. I bring up what Laura said, I know, and she seemed shocked. Says she had to think about it. No issue, of course, but after some time and a few drinks, another side of Jill comes out. Long story short, we end up at her place. I know. We basically had ourselves an unclothed weekend. I know. Truth is, I thought it all turned out fine at first. Jill and I were safe and had a good talk about expectations and our future friendships. We left that weekend with a great understanding and respect. Laura gets home and we continue our lives just as before. Jill gets a new job and a nice boyfriend named Mark, who I had met before through friends. She says that they got together not long after our weekend. We all got along well and hang out constantly. Yesterday, crap got effed. Mark came over as I was home alone, and I could tell he was off. I let him inside, and before long, he asked what happened between Jill and me. I knew this could always be a possibility, as I couldn't just tell him before, "Oh, hey, I slept with your girlfriend last year, by the way." But I figured Jill would say something eventually if they got more serious. So I laid it out for him, letting him know that, of course, it was before he and Jill were together. He got pissed at me and lets me know that's not true. Shows me messages. Come to find out, he was right. He and Jill officially got together a few weeks before Laura was out of town. I felt gutted. Mark could tell that I didn't know and that this bothered me, so he doesn't seem to be pissed at me now. More than anything, both of us are livid at Jill. He lets me know that they won't make it and that he doesn't think we'll be friends anymore. I don't like it, but I understand. I called Jill after, demanding an explanation. I get a tearful apology, but then later comments like, at least we gotta have our fun, right? Whoa, yikes. I mean, okay, well, there's a little bit more. So
Wait, Jill said that?
Jill said that.
So was she just pretending when you came up to her and she was like, oh, I'm shocked. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
She had to have talked to Laura, and then Laura was like,
Yeah.
you're totally trying to get with Jill.
And yeah.
Are we already, is anyone else at the point where it's like, why can't we just be single and none of this is a mess?
Well, I think that it's not even about being single. It's just about making smart decisions. Like, you guys put boundaries in place. You said, no coworkers, no friends. And then your partner said, oh, you should hook up with my friend / coworker. And you said, okay, yeah. I mean, you didn't say it as easily, but you still did it. You still made that conscious decision, and it turned out a lot messier, but you already knew it was going to be messy, which is why you had those rules. So, yeah, it wasn't going to work out because you didn't follow the rules that you put in place to keep it from becoming messy.
He said, my rules were made to be broken by me.
I'm disgusted and angry, so when Laura got home, I just hung up. We sat down, and I started to explain it all to her. But her reaction wasn't what I expected. I realized she knew. I asked her, and to her credit, she quickly confirmed. She effing knew Jill was with someone when I slept with her. Now I'm in tears. She tries to console me, saying that she thought it would be okay since we're open. She'd never used the word before, and Jill was going through a rough patch. She actually told me, I wanted you to do it since she always liked you, and I knew only you could give her what she really needed. I lost my crap. Screamed at her. She looked genuinely scared. She started crying and trying to talk me down, but I feel so betrayed. I left and went to another friend's house. I consider him a good friend, but he's not as close with the rest of the previously mentioned friend group. He's always been great emotional support for me over the years. He offered a bed for the night, and I told him and his wife what happened. Their reaction was the knockout I didn't need. They basically said I should expect this with my type of lifestyle. His wife practically scoffed, saying the word. It made me feel like a victim that got blamed for wearing a skirt. I left there, and now I'm on a hotel bed in my own hometown. I've got dozens of missed calls and texts from everyone mentioned in this story, plus a few more. I haven't returned any. I called off work. I've eaten 1 bag of crackers in the last 24 hours. I'm still wearing the same clothes I had on when Mark came over. I don't know what to do. I feel like I've lost a girlfriend and 3 good friends yesterday. Obviously, I wish I never slept with Jill. Things like this are exactly why we have these dang rules in the first place. But why can't any of them, except maybe Mark, see how betrayed I am? By the way, you would be betraying us if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Can you read that one more time, that last sentence? Because
But why can't any of them, except maybe Mark, see how betrayed I feel?
I have a theory. It's because all of this was done between you and your partner. So if you talked to your partner, agreed to do what she said, and then did the thing, where's the betrayal? You betrayed yourself more than anybody.
I think that OP absolutely has some measure of culpability in breaking the literal boundaries that he put in place to prevent all of this stuff. However, I absolutely think that his girlfriend has betrayed trust by saying, by lying to him and saying that, oh yeah, I knew that she was with a partner.
1 trillion %.
It's like, no, it wasn't going to work out because you broke your own rules, but also she absolutely has betrayed your trust. And
Right. Because they were already together.
Yeah.
Again, my answer was only to the question of why do they not get it? And it's because y'all were in a situation where, I mean, you literally agreed to it and then did it.
Yeah.
She just lied to you about the nature of it, which
is not okay.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why your trust is totally gone. But you can see maybe on the outside, people be like, I don't understand.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Like on the outside, it doesn't look good for you.
Yeah.
It's a mix of things. Like you were involved in the reason why it was messy. You were not at all to blame for being lied to.
Correct.
That's not okay.
You were to blame for doing all the stuff that you knew you were doing because you kept saying, I know.
I know. Like, you were to blame for that stuff because you willingly did that.
Yeah.
However, none of the other stuff is your fault, and your girlfriend absolutely break up with her because she lied to you. And so did Jill. I was basically cheated on. In fact, I wish Laura had gone and screwed 50 guys and tried to cover it up, then do what she did. She made me the effing cheater. I don't think I want to end 6 years over this. I think you have to. But it will not be easy to forgive. I don't know how to even look at Jill anymore. The rest of our friends, I'm sure they know now. Several of them have reached out, but I haven't answered. Will they think anything other than we're all getting what we deserve for being non-mon heathens or whatever? Comment 1 says, I'll be honest, I don't think you ended 6 years over this. She did. If she can so easily break one of your ground rules, then she can break all of them and probably is. I'm sorry, but I don't think you can come back from this. In non-mon relationships, trust and rules are what make it work, and she has broken both. Sorry you lost friends, but I think the girlfriend can go. Comment 2, my guy, I suspect she had broken some of those rules herself already, and encouraging you to was a way to make herself feel better. Yeah. Comment 3, as someone who is not familiar with your kind of lifestyle, I don't think that your friends are trying to be a-holes by saying what they said. I would think that a situation like this may be likely not because you would seek out people in a relationship to sleep with, but because plenty of taken people lie and cheat with third parties by saying they're single. I don't know your friends, but they must care about you since they offered you a place to stay when you needed it. You don't need to keep pushing everyone away and dodging everyone's phone calls. You were betrayed by your girlfriend and Jill, but you don't need to seclude yourself away from everyone else because they don't fully understand your relationship. Also, don't beat yourself up over what happened. You were clearly used, and the person who had the most reason to hate you already acknowledged that you were not at fault. Yeah, that's a great point. Mark doesn't blame you. So, it's not your fault. You were betrayed. You were manipulated.
Yeah.
You were used.
My wife chose her coworker over our family. Now I'm finally choosing myself.
Yeah, good for you, OP.
I don't know what to do. I found explicit and detailed messages between my wife and a coworker. He sent her a wiener pic. And she responded by saying how she longs to give him sloppy toppy again. It gets super graphic. By the way, this comes from South Treacle 8746. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I'm sick to my stomach and want her to admit to what she's done, but she wants me to admit that I've gone through her phone. I freaked out and said I hadn't, and now we're stuck in a loop where she won't admit to anything because she wants me to admit I violated her privacy first. Just admit that you did violate her privacy,
Right.
but she also cheated on you. So let's just
She's
get that over with.
Yeah, hey, I violated this. I know you cheated.
Yeah. Should I have gone through your phone? No. Do I now know that this relationship is not going to continue? Yeah, perfect. It's over. I get that she's trying to deflect and say that I violated her trust. I'm heartbroken. We have 3 kids. Oof. 7, 5, and 3, and I don't know what to do. I called an emergency psychologist who said that what I did was completely reasonable, even if technically wrong, because I needed to find out the truth. Had I not found anything, I would have just shut my mouth. But now I have proof. My wrong is less wrong than hers, especially since she was given the chance to tell the truth. But I also need to come clean and tell her that I know about it. I also have strong suspicions that she's been sending him raunchy pictures, although I can't prove it. OP, you have been cheated on, and it's terrible, and I feel for you, because that's awful, and you have kids, and your relationship is over, but it's over. Unless you want to go through the immense amount of work that it takes to go through therapy together, to work on trusting each other again.
It's
but
just
it
the
takes
fact
a
that
lot
she's
of
not
work.
even taking any
Accountability,
accountability.
exactly.
She's just like, you went through my phone.
Yeah, for that to even
Girl.
be possible, she would have to be on your side as well,
Yeah.
which she is not right now. So I think that for your own sake, go to individual therapy, and I think this is a divorce. I just know that the pictures I saw never made it to my phone, and that are way too schmexy to be for her own pleasure. Help me. We had a very long conversation, calm and controlled. I didn't lose my temper and tried to keep my tone of voice stable. Her story is that she's remorseful and feels shame.
She regrets me finding out like this and reading explicit text messages. She wanted to tell me herself. She claims that nothing physical has ever happened and that boundaries gradually got pushed, which resulted in spicy texting. She takes responsibility and knows she's the one who messed up. Her reason is that our marriage has been going through a rough patch for a long time, and this brought some joy and excitement to her life. She knew this was going to hurt me, and yet she continued to do it. She claims she never sent any pictures to anyone. So now I stand with a few options. Trust her and try to find ways to move on, or accept that I can't trust her and that we need to part ways. I agree that those are your two options.
I definitely would say no trust until she's admitting stuff.
Yeah. I think you are right. Those are your two options, and you just have to decide whether you 100% are willing to try and work on trust, or if you think that this has broken it forever, because it is possible. We've read stories where people have worked through it, especially when you have kids,
Yeah.
but it is so hard.
It's going to take a while.
I also put up an ultimatum that she needs to cut ties with her colleague. They work together, so that will be something of an issue. But no private texting, meeting, or any other form of communication. Comment, be heartbroken later. Right now, you have to be decisive, organized, and plan for your future. You have 3 kids, and she did that. She chose effing some coworker over the quality of life for her kids. Absolute garbage, my man. Create a paper train, get a lawyer, get her out of the house. She wants to blow him again. Cool. She can pack a bag, and she can be his problem. What you do now will have long-standing effects on the quality of your life going forward. Don't give her crap. Don't feel bad. Plan now, mourn later. She made her bed. She can sleep on it. There's just no coming back from that. Don't let her off with getting her cake and eating it too. Grown but woman with 3 kids and a husband playing these kinds of games. It's hard to get more selfish than that. And there is an update.
Ay. My advice stands the same.
Yeah. I continued to gather evidence and found a list of reasons why she shouldn't be with him, including him being bad in bed and her living in constant fear that he'll leave her. I also found a message from the same day where she writes that she's pissed off at him for trying to break it off because she had a bad day and needed to reflect on the relationship. She didn't understand how he could break it off just because she had a bad day and came up with some unreasonable suggestions. So now I've come to my senses and I'm gonna play it cool. I've gathered evidence of her infidelity, adult pictures where she claims there are none, and these messages that prove this is more than a physical or non-physical affair. It is a relationship. We have a couples therapist session next week, and until then, I'm gonna play it cool and let her come to me. I'm not gonna bring the subject up anymore, and will only remind her that we have an agreed deadline on Sunday where she needs to break it off completely, and I want to see the text. Then, during the session, I'm going to tell the story and state an ultimatum. Her husband or her boyfriend. She needs to choose then and there. No ifs, no buts. She needs to decide if she is willing to throw 8 years away, 3 kids, 7, 5, and 2 for another man. Then fine. I'm done. I love her to bits and will walk to the end of the world, but that world needs to be where I am the priority, not another man. And there is a second update.
And I feel like ultimately that is it. Like, the most you can do is decide if you can get past it with work, and then you have to just leave it up to the other person. Are they willing to admit what happened? Are they willing to put in work? Like, it sucks, but it is, like, at that point in their hands to, like, own up or not.
We've had several long and hard talks to the point where she screamed, "Why are you obsessing over this? I told you everything." What I wanted her to understand is that she has been living with the truth for a long time. I have had less than 48 hours. We spoke at length about cutting ties, and she agrees that this needs to be done, and then she throws a curveball. She's not willing to give up her group friendship, where she, another female colleague, and him are the members. She's not willing to give up her relationship that she's been cheating on you in. That's what she's not willing to give up.
Yeah.
It's not about her friendship. I told her that needs to be included because if they meet, then they will always have their history in the back of their minds. They'll always know. I can't have this. This shows that she's not willing to fully commit to finding stability in our relationship without him in our lives. This sucks. I'm devastated. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm a broken man, but I cannot be married to a woman who does not make our marriage the prime interest. I don't know when I'll hand in the papers. I need to be strategic first and think about how to set myself up for success before I do anything else. And there is a third update, but do you have any thoughts?
Oh, nothing new. I'm still like, she sucks.
Yeah.
I stand with all the same stuff. Like,
Yeah, she sucks.
good on you for thinking that you are able to get past it and like being willing to put in all that work and stuff. And I'm so sorry that she's not.
Yeah. Update. I came to a core truth about why it hurts. And that is that she is so emotionally invested in the other man, and I don't feel emotional investment at all. She flat out said, "You're right." She invests in him because she feels that she is getting something from that relationship.
Jesus.
She says she has invested in ours, but not anymore because she feels we get stuck in the same old problems without any development. This is the true pain, where I don't matter and I bring no joy to her life. I'm completely spent and have nothing more to give. I've been honest and truthful. I've said what I can say. If there is no one on the other side to meet me, then I need to walk alone. And there is a comment. Sorry to hear it was worse and got further than she admitted. I expected this after the "I'll give you sloppy toppy again." There's no other way that can be perceived. I'm not sure what you expect to get out of the confrontation. She'll deny or lie or downplay everything again, as it's what cheaters do. Your best bet is to have that evidence, retain a divorce lawyer, and show it to your wife's affair partner's partner, if he has one, and file. Tell friends and family too. The time for an ultimatum is long gone. She's had the chance to confess and downplayed, lied, and manipulated. And since then has seemingly continued her affair. So she clearly wants to monkey branch to this guy. Yeah. I mean, she's been on that other branch for a while.
Yeah.
His branch, all right.
If you blow up their lives, that little fantasy she's concocting will suddenly exist in the real crappy world. Don't play the pick-me dance. Either divorce lawyers or confront in couples therapy and state you're separating. She doesn't get to choose what happens. No, do this and then. No. She's betrayed you. Put your health at risk. Try to leave you for him. Has been the one to actively keep the affair going. What other ways do you want her to crap all over your marriage? Let her wallow in regret, as her fantasy is fantasy, and the guy doesn't want her, and neither do you. And there is a fourth update. That's it. My marriage is now over. Woo! Good job, OP.
Oh, so
It
sorry,
sucks.
but
Took a while to
yes.
get there, but
this is
You
the
did
right
it.
move. This is
You
the
did-
right move. I have proof that she has been in touch with him, and that part of the discussion has been regarding choosing what type of person she wants to be with. Rather an insecure person with a secure wiener than a secure person with an insecure wiener.
What does that
Oh
even
my
mean?
God.
What does that mean? But you know what I'm secure about? You guys listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
She cuckoo.
I don't even know which one you are anymore, OP, but good thing you got out of there,
True.
because she's losing it.
crazy.
I feel truly like after her lie was exposed, she just started spiraling and being like, oh my god, like grasping at anything kind of thing.
Agree. Obviously, I don't know the full context as she's good at deleting messages, but I caught them and took a picture of the conversation. This sucks. This hurts, but I don't want to live like this. I'd rather be sad in the short term with a road to happiness in front of me than constantly worried about her betrayal. I don't need her, but I wanted her. She doesn't want me, and life needs to move on. At least she thinks you're a secure person, maybe?
Maybe.
She either thinks you're secure
or your
wiener, and that's a win-win.
Run with whatever half of the secure you are.
Run with your
Yeah.
wiener.
My wife had an affair with my cousin.
Cousin loving.
Trigger warning, emotional. Trigger warning for mentions of self-harm. I have a cousin who is also my closest friend. As my closest friend, he was often at my house when I lived with my parents, and he continued to visit me frequently after I got married. I have been married for 3 years. By the way, this comes from Plastic Year 2306, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. During these visits, my wife, who is normally shy and reserved around my friends, began to hang out with us from time to time because he became very familiar with his constant visits, and she saw him as a cousin of hers as well. It's also important to note that my wife has some undiagnosed mental illnesses such as BPD, seasonal depression, and unresolved abandonment issues from her childhood. Eventually, my wife began to join my cousin and me when we would hang out together outside of the home as well, and we regularly started hanging out all together. I now know that I was essentially setting myself up for failure by helping them create a bond. After weeks of my wife constantly crying and feeling depressed beyond anything I'd ever seen, she confessed to me that the reason she had been feeling this way was because of an overwhelming guilt about having developed an emotional attachment to another man.
Not another man.
Ugh. At this point, she was completely distraught and could barely get her words out, so I simply comforted her while trying to hold in my shock and anger at what I had just heard. She eventually confessed that it had been going on for some time, 12 months since her first feelings that she suppressed. 9 months since they started talking on and off, 3 to 4 months since they started talking every day, and 2 months since they confessed that they had these feelings. My cousin eventually ended things officially around 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it doesn't really end, does it?
I spoke to my cousin, and he confessed without knowing that my wife had already told me, and their stories matched up. I need some advice. Is there any way that this marriage is repairable, or should I just move on? I definitely cannot trust her right now, and I'm not sure if I ever will again. I've spoken to 2 sheikhs, and they both advised me not to rush into my decisions. But one told me to wait 2 to 3 weeks, and one told me to wait 4 to 6 months. For what? What are we waiting for?
A sign.
The one who told me to wait 4 to 6 months later told me that I might have to end things sooner if my wife's mental condition doesn't improve because the marriage seems unsustainable. My wife and I are both 25, and I have no kids. She is self-harming at times and often says she doesn't want to live anymore because of what she's done. She's filled with guilt, but she also admitted to me that she's still grieving the loss of the friendship she had with my cousin.
What?
Which makes my blood boil. Is it chic or shake?
I think it's usually
Chocolate. Vanilla?
The chic? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right.
I would just say chic. However you say it in your heart is the right way.
Don't think that's true.
That is true. However you
I don't
hear
know
it
about
in your
that.
heart is the right way to say it.
I don't know about that. Yeah,
It's
Miss
okay.
Jaybird says
You're trying your
girl,
best.
Therapy. Yeah, she needs therapy badly. And OP needs to leave this relationship no matter. I think there's always that guilt of being like, my partner is going to hurt themselves or not be well if I leave them, even though they've hurt me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
It's a shake.
Sheikh, thank you. The sheikh said this is normal, but to monitor if she still feels this way in the next few months. This has been the biggest betrayal imaginable, and it has also made me dread upcoming family gatherings where my cousin will be, and I'll be expected to bring my wife because, of course, no one in our family knows about this. My wife is very clear that she only wants to be with me, and she wants to make this marriage work more than anything. I've known her my entire adult life, and even though our marriage is not perfect, we've been pretty compatible so far, and I simply can't imagine life without her, even though she's hurt me in the most unimaginable way. And there is an update. I mean, I understand that she's got like a mental health, disorder here, but that doesn't excuse the fact that she cheated on you. Yeah, maybe she can find help to, improve in future relationships, but I don't know if you can get back that trust. And also, it very much doesn't excuse your cousin, because he has no reason for doing any of this other than he just cheated with your wife. So, yeah. I think
Truly
you don't have
nothing to
stay.
be really
Yeah.
salvaged, I think.
Yeah.
I think that you can
Yeah. I
still
think
not
you can
want her.
excuse it.
You cannot
Yeah.
want her to be.
You can want the
in
best
that
for her.
level of distress, but
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Doesn't mean you have to be with her. 2 months later. I'm trying to stay distracted by playing football, going to the gym, and spending time at the mosque. The relationship is volatile. Some days she is loving, and some days she's arguing with me. Well, also we know she has BPD, so. We see a marriage counselor. We got nikah, religious marriage, and when I was 21 and moved in together when I was 22. My wife still holds resentment and says it openly. The reasons she cited were that I played football 3 to 4 days a week for a few hours, and she said this abandonment was a contributing factor that subsequently led to her affair. While I have tried to cut off contact with my cousin, it is difficult given the family circles.
There's no way she just blamed you, like, having
Yeah.
a hobby as the reason why she
Yep.
was justified in cheating on you with your cousin.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to get any reasoning that isn't, I cheated on you because I cheated on you.
Yeah. Gotta own it.
Yeah. You have to own it.
Own it,
I
girl.
think especially because she is not willing to own it completely, there is no path to redemption here. But yeah, it's tough. There is another update though. 3 months later. This week, my wife and I divorced after being married for 3.5 years. It was very sad. She got extremely emotional, and I also shed some tears. But I believe it had to be done as I couldn't look past the affair. My wife is in the process of moving back into the home we shared, and I'm going to live with my parents for the remainder of her AITA, a 3-month period of separation after divorce or loss, intended to restore one's emotional and mental health and remove any confusion in case of pregnancy. She came to the house today, and in the evening, she asked me if we could talk because she was not happy that I was in a bad mood towards her. She's like, why are you so upset with me?
Should have thought about that before you slept with my cousin. Maybe my mood would be improved
Maybe it
if
would
you
have
didn't
been
sleep
better.
with my cousin.
She knows the reason was because I'm having aunties call me and even coming over to try to get me to give my wife a second chance. No. And I find this very triggering because they don't know what I've gone through. I've hidden from them the fact that she had an affair to protect her dignity and reputation and to not reveal that the affair partner is their nephew and my cousin.
Damn.
Honestly, if you don't want to reveal that, maybe go to her and say, hey, you need to get them off my back or I'm going to tell them why.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I would. That's crazy.
Put it to her. They shouldn't be bothering you.
If everyone's like, give her a second chance, if your family members start saying you're the bad guy, oh boy.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you need to get them off my back or I'm telling them the truth. They all see her as a kind girl who's very sweet, which she is at times, but they don't know what I've gone through with the affair and with all the verbal abuse and temper issues throughout the marriage. I always shielded my family from seeing this side of her. She's also really good at being the best version of herself around others, particularly family. There are a lot of good things about her personality and character that I would look for in another wife, so that should be made clear. I told her that I didn't want to talk about things right now, but she insisted and kept talking about it anyway, saying that we wouldn't have any other time to talk. She began asking why I've forgotten all the good things she did. Because you cheated on him. Because you're a cheater. Kind of outweighs all the puppies you saved. And the sacrifices.
Wait, she saved puppies?
Nah, just...
Well, we have to factor puppy saving.
Did we factor in the puppy saving? And the sacrifices she made in our marriage. What sacrifices? You sacrificed the marriage. That's what you sacrificed. And that I'm just labeling her for one thing she did.
Oh my gosh.
It's so crazy. You're literally labeling me for the worst thing I did.
It's like
What about all the other good things I did?
Honey, I took out the trash. I
Yeah.
did the chores. I slept with your cousin.
Why can't you just
Why can't you
look
just get over
past
that?
the worst thing I did?
Just put a band-aid over it. It's a little boo-boo. We can fix this,
throw
right?
a blanket on it.
Nah. Shadow Wolf, I think it was borderline personality disorder. I think that was... can you look? It's at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was borderline. Yeah. I insisted it wasn't just one thing, and I said that I haven't forgotten about all the good because if I had, I wouldn't be treating her with kindness. I'd be cold to her like I am to my cousin.
It is borderline personality disorder
borderline.
and seasonal depression.
Yes. I was then alerted to news that one of my ex-colleagues and a friend was being rushed to the hospital after a serious car accident, and she became even more upset that I was diverting my focus from our conversation, saying that this was symptomatic of our problems in the marriage, where she always had to fight for my attention, and that's what caused this problem between us. She's literally blaming you. She's blaming you for cheating on you?
It's all your fault. It's all your fault. If you had given me more attention,
This
I
lady
wouldn't have
stinks.
cheated.
She's stinky. She's a stinky lady.
Because I'm sure that is all that was really missing. If you wouldn't have played football for 2 hours during the week each day, I think I would
Probably wouldn't have had time to cheat on you.
I would have been fine.
She also said that for the record, after some time, she would have forgiven me for cheating if I had done what she had. Who is this
so
person?
easy to say that,
Who is
seeing
this
as I
person?
haven't cheated on you. So
That's
you can say that all
crazy.
day long.
She's like, well, if you had done it, I wouldn't have been upset.
She's trying every manipulation tactic in the book.
Truly.
And it's just not
It's
working.
not working,
It better not
girl.
work, OP.
She's a very sensitive person and can't even handle the perceived threat of being abandoned. So if she found out that I had an emotional relationship with another woman, let alone a relative of hers, she would have lost her mind. She even fell down to her knees crying, "Why?
I thought in my head, I'm pretty sure that's my line. So the reason why I'm asking all of this is, do I owe it to her to have these final discussions about where things went wrong in our marriage so she can get some closure? Or do we just stop talking about the issue entirely and move on separately? I'm trying to do everything by the book, Quran and Sunnah, and not take away any of her rights from her, regardless of how the marriage ended. I want both of us to be able to heal from this marriage ending. I've always tried to carry myself with respect and honor, even in the face of this most heinous betrayal. And there is a third update.
OP, you're being too nice. She stinks.
I was gonna say, Opie, you're being a way too good of a person, and that's good. You're being an honorable person, but you don't owe her these things.
You don't owe her
especially-
anything.
Especially the way she's trying to manipulate and be tactical about it. It's gross behavior. The fact that she can't own up to it, and she's like, you don't have to be like, oh, where did our marriage go wrong?
Yeah.
She cheated.
She cheated
like,
on you. That's where it
cheated
went wrong. She cheated on you for months.
with your cousin.
You guys have been together for 3 years total, and she's cheated on you for a year of that.
It's 1/3, baby.
Yeah.
Like, there is no excuse, and I hate when cheaters try to excuse their relationship or their affairs by saying, oh, well, it was your fault because there were problems in the relationship that I never told you about.
Her and your fault supposedly from
Yeah.
her reasoning was
Yeah.
you have a hobby.
You play football, so
I have to play with balls.
it's only fair. Update 1 year later. I reflect and believe that ironically, being cheated on was the key to some of the biggest blessings in my life. Glass half full kind of guy. I have met some incredible people, traveled to many countries, begun seeking Islamic knowledge, and developed incredible friendships with brothers. Some of my family members have figured it out or had suspicions and have gone cold with a cousin. Good. And there is another update 2 years later.
It also
Yay.
shows that OP is not trying to be dramatic,
Yeah.
not trying to have drama. Honestly, I would bring it up to her and be like, you should be so lucky that I'm not telling anybody about this.
Yeah.
And you're still bringing it up and you're still trying to not be accountable. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's exhausting at this point.
I'm trying to search up how to pronounce
It's been
this word.
exhausting the whole time, really.
1 second. I want to start by saying Alhamdulillah, thank God, for everything, whether things go in a way that we think is good or not. 2 years ago, my ex-wife had an emotional affair with my cousin, and that was a time that felt like I was in a black hole with no sight of the top. 2 years later, I've experienced highs in my deen, walk of faith, business, and now personal life that seemed unimaginable at the time.
Alhamdulillah, what's it like in New York City? I'm
By the
1,000
way,
miles away.
I can imagine you guys listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and searching up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I hope your next wife is super hot.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super hot, super cool.
And she enjoys your hobbies, and maybe you guys can do hobbies together.
I
Hot, cool
hope
new
maybe
wife.
she plays football too.
And she only cheats on you with you.
Like in Pina Colada song. Anyway, I found out about my ex-wife's affair a week before Ramadan in 2023. Then in the final week of Ramadan 2025, I met the kindest, most patient, most beautiful woman I've met in my life. She too had been married before, and in her first marriage, she endured her own tough trials that shaped the person she is today. A woman of immense strength that she does not claim or boast about. Funnily enough, we met on this very subreddit in Marriage ISO, where she saw my profile and reached out. And that simple message led to what we have today. Alhamdulillah, we are now married and enjoying our honeymoon, and I wouldn't change anything that brought us to where we are today. And that's the end of that story, folks.
I just want to know if the cousin and the ex-wife are now together.
Oh, Lord. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think that would last, though. Especially
My
with
No,
lord.
the
not
whole
at
family.
all. Not at all.
I don't think
My
that
lord.
would last.
Malort?
My lord,
You want Malort? Oh,
my lord.
That's the end of that story, and we got another one coming up, folks.
yes we do.
I left my cheating partner a framed Tinder photo and my final message.
What was the message?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? Well, I, 27 female, just found out that my boyfriend, 29 male, of 7 years, cheated on me. My boyfriend went to his home state to see his family for the weekend. He's been going quite often this year, about once a month, saying it's because his grandparents are old and miss him. I thought nothing of it until this morning. I got a screenshot from a mutual friend of ours of my boyfriend's location on Snapchat. By the way, this comes from Unlucky Amoeba 2473, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm John.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So leave a comment below telling us what you would do. But as Opie says,
He was at his parents' house, but a girl's emoji was there as well. It wasn't his sister or mom and his parents, who weirdly also have a Snapchat. They weren't home either. He didn't tell me he was going to be with anyone else today. I tried to call him, but he did not pick up. I looked on Snapchat and his location was turned off. The mutual friend says my boyfriend has told everyone at home we had broken up 4 months ago. He said my boyfriend was making him stay quiet about it because he was trying to find the right time to tell me. As far as his parents know, he's moving home once our lease is up. The reason our mutual friend told me was because he walked in on my boyfriend and the girl hooking up with each other this morning. I texted an old friend who lives in my hometown, and she immediately asked why my boyfriend was on Tinder. We caught up, and she sent me proof of his photos on Tinder and his bio. It hurt to see that photos I took of him were used. He had even covered my face in a photo we took together and said, "This could be you." I had no idea his family thought we were broken up and that he was looking for other people to date. We even went to Italy a month ago celebrating our 7th anniversary.
Years.
I'm so confused and I don't know what to do. I look around and everything in our apartment seems like a lie. The soon-to-be ex texted me just now and he is on his flight back. He'll be back in about 5 hours. Obviously, he can find his own way to the apartment from the airport. I'm shocked and numb, but my best friend is with me, helping me pack up all my clothes. I'm leaving, and I'm not leaving a trace of myself behind. Our dog is coming with me, and I'll be staying at my best friend's place for now. My soon-to-be ex and I already have separate bank accounts, and our joint bank account does not have that much in it right now. That is good.
Yeah.
I make more than he does, so he can keep it. I can't go to the leasing office because it's closed on Sundays, but I sent an email asking for an early termination on the lease. We're registered as domestic partners, so I've completed the termination form and will drive it up to the LA County office tomorrow. This is happening
Boots
on
on
our
the ground.
home turf.
Boots on the ground right now.
This could have happened a mere minutes away from us. He is on my health insurance, and I've sent the email to HR to punt him off ASAP. We have several large photo albums together, and I'm not sure what to do with those. Keeping them would be too difficult, but I don't want him to have the satisfaction of having our photos. It's clear he uses our memories in a horrible way.
I mean, yeah, we already know what he did with pictures that you took / also pictures of you.
Yeah. Is there anything I'm missing? I can't seem to think of anything, and all my thoughts seem so jumbled. Nothing makes sense, but I know I can't stay. Correct. Any help to ghost a person this close to my heart would be appreciated. Commenter says, fill out a change of address form and list a friend's address for your mail. It's often overlooked. Additionally, if your shared pet is chipped, have the data on it updated and other pet-based records modified to suit the new circumstance. Remove him from your airline miles plan if necessary. Man.
Get him off everything.
Get him off freaking everything, dude. Focus on self-care, block him on all platforms, and remember that good people do exist. He is just not one of them. So I logged myself out of our Apple TV and Xbox. I canceled the Wi-Fi that I paid for and returned the modem to the carrier. I took my parents' information for utilities off of our account. I packed up all my sauces, spices, cooking oils, and made sure to only leave dried rosemary behind because he hates that stuff.
OP, you're an evil genius.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, because it's
just
so
specific.
tasteful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so like.
I love
it.
I printed out and framed a screenshot of his Tinder profile and left it on the kitchen table.
Nice. Oh wait, I'm realizing, have they actually had the like?
Not at all. So there hasn't been, but this is, and I would say, so that's why I was asking the question earlier. I will say I do think it is good to send the message purely to be like, hey, let me make this like super crystal clear for you. Don't reach out to me. Don't try to contact me.
I see.
Yeah. Because like,
yeah, I think, send the message just to be 100% clear. So you don't have to deal with him reaching out and trying to get you know.
Or
and you can send
leave a note with the Tinder picture
explaining.
or something.
Yeah. As delicious sounding as it is to have just the rosemary and the Tinder pic.
Yeah.
It's the clear communication.
Just be clear.
I agree. But Opie says, I closed a piece of dog poop onto the photo frame as well. I'll keep the photo albums. He can have this. I took a video of the entire apartment after packing up all my things. I left my keys in the mailbox for the leasing office and emailed them about my departure, including the videos showing what the apartment looked like before I locked up. I updated my address with UPS, the vet, hospital, school, work, and my dog's microchip. My God, this woman needs to run for president, guys. Oh my God. I talked to HR and started the process of getting him off my health insurance, changing the beneficiary of my life insurance to my parents, if only I could name my dog, and updating my emergency contact. I'm going to the bank to take myself off of the joint bank. Fortunately, I'm not worried about my credit since all of our finances were separate, but I'm grateful to those who told me to freeze my credit. I logged out of all the devices for every streaming service, social media platform, and my work, personal, and school email accounts. I blocked him on all social media chat rooms and his phone number. I made a doctor's appointment to get tested. I'm on my way to the county office to terminate our domestic partnership now. It's been an incredibly busy 18 hours, but I've had a lot of help from my friends. I haven't been able to sleep either. As far as what happened since he arrived, here's what's up. I already blocked him before he landed. I received many texts and calls from his parents and sister that I did not see. Then, when I noticed his sister calling, I picked up. At first, the call was hostile. She accused me of being some crazy ex-girlfriend that couldn't let her brother go. Funny, since I just packed up and left. She brought up that it had been 4 months, quote unquote, and that I needed to move on. I told her that ex had never approached me about breaking up and that 1 month ago we celebrated our 7th anniversary and we had started to plan our wedding. I had no indication that he wanted to break up. We reset a bit and she allowed me to tell her my side of the story. I told her he was somewhat distant this year, but he had it blamed on their grandparents being old and wanting to spend more time with them before they passed away. Turns out their grandparents passed away over 2 years ago. I never met them because my ex claimed they won't like me since my grandpa was in the Vietnam War and I'm Southeast Asian. So it turns out you can't not like me when you're passed away.
That's true.
We ended the call on a positive note with his sister saying that it was a lot to take in. She said she felt bad as the girl that he was cheating on me with one of her friends. Oh my God. She had introduced them to each other sometime last year when my ex was apparently unhappy with our relationship. They hit it off and he was supposed to break it off with me. I guess he never had the cojones to do so. She was also confused as to why he was on Tinder as he was in a relationship with her friend.
Ooh.
A lot of things not adding up. Come on. I sent her all the Tinder receipts after hanging up. Later that night, I received an email from the ex. To sum it up, yes, he asked me to come to the apartment to talk it out. No, he did not apologize for anything. He ended the email with, I love you.
That's funny. That's funny.
I love you. Just, that's it. We're fixed.
That's hilarious.
I fixed it. Yay. As far as I know, he does not know where I am. I also don't believe that he knows where my friend lives as she just moved and he hasn't been here yet. He also doesn't seem like a type of person, but I guess I really didn't know him after all. We'll keep locks ready and bats near the door. It's been so helpful just writing out everything that's happened so far. But all the evidence, support, and guidance in the situation has made me feel empowered to leave. By the way, you should feel empowered to literally never leave us until your last breath, because you can go to Spotify, Apple, your favorite podcast app, press play, and listen to us to the day you're in the dirt, just like Grandpa. At times, I just wanted to stop packing and hope that that when he came home, everything would go back to normal and the text would just be a distant memory. Edit. Sorry, I was unclear about the timeline. The parents and the sister called me about 2 hours after he landed. I assume that was because he got home, realized the person paying half of his rent will no longer be doing so, and reached out to his family. The dog poop may have contributed to the heightened emotions. And that's the end of this one.
Wow, what a tale. What a tale. What a tale. What a
What
tale.
a freaking tale.
That's the end of that story.
Yes, it is. And that's the end of the episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.